Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. The final stretch, the final hurdle to clear, the final chance for some of these people to get a chance to get their ticket to fight it out against the bottom 8 of the Trackmania Grand League Winter, and potentially, if they perform well enough, bag their spots into the Trackmania Grand League Summer season. As you can hear, there's an absolute storm where I live right now. I'm casting in the middle of a freaking rainstorm. Anyways, hello everybody, I'm Thomas Mengozi, aka GGeek, and I will be your host for today as I will be guiding you through Step 6 of the Open Grand League. So, we're gonna take a look at the overall ranking a little bit later, but yeah, you will see that the top 4 will remain relatively safely through and will get their ticket to the combined match. The bottom 4 is an entirely different matter, especially after what we saw happen last week. Anyways, for those of you who are new to the stream and do not know what the Open Grand League is, here is what it is all about. So, here is what it's all about. So, the competition is open to everyone, including you, fellow viewer, can actually take part in this competition, and it's consisting of 6 steps played over the course of 6 weeks. At the end of the 6 steps, the overall top 8 will get their chance to play against the bottom 8 of the Trackmania Grand League Winter season, which we now know the participants, and potentially, if they perform well enough, back their spot and secure themselves a spot into the Trackmania Grand League Summer 2020 season. As far as the format goes, here's what it's going to look like. First of all, we're going to have a placement match played in checkpoints mode. All maps are going to be played 3 minutes on each map, and the goal here is to cross as many checkpoints as possible within the time limit. After this placement match is done, all players are placed in 4 different leagues: Bronze, Silver, Gold, and Top 32, which is what we're going to focus on today. Then the league match happens, which is played using the same format as TMGL, which is Champions Mode. And yeah, maps 1, 2, and 3, everyone can score points. Maps 4, 5, and 6, the last 3 maps, anyone outside of the top 8 will lose all of their points that they accumulated before that and only score the point placement for their map. What differs between the leagues is the number of laps and number of points gained per step. 2 laps per map on Bronze and 3,000 points per step win. In Silver, that bumps up to 4 laps per map and 5,000 points for a step win. In Gold and Top 32, we get the full 6 laps of racing that there is in TMGL, but where that differs is that 8,000 points are up for grabs for the winner in Gold, whereas the winner in Top 32 will get 10,000 points. With the format out of the way, you're now familiar with it. Let's actually check in with the Open Grand League ranking after step number 5. Your top 8 is as follows. Your top 4 is Afi, Yannex, Gwen, and Legu. Afi and Yannex, the 2 Swiss teammates from Team XLT. Merci beaucoup, Necroa, pour le host. Je te remercie. Anyways, for those, bonjour à ceux qui viennent du stream français. Je suis donc un casteur qui caste surtout en anglophone pour cette OGL, et on va retourner dans la langue de Shakespeare dès maintenant. So, Afi and Yannex, the 2 Swiss teammates from Team XLT, in first and second place, over 49,000 points. Gwen in third place after the shocker that was step 5 for him, where he lost all of his points on Zeppelin, which was map number 5, currently sitting in third. Fourth place for Legu for Team Versatility, sitting on 48,000 points. Now you can see the 4 first places are pretty much safe, but the bottom 4 are actually really where it's going to matter the most. You can see only 805 points separate top 5 from top 8. Everything can still shuffle, and still every point is up for grabs. Tricky in 5th place for Team Versatility. Then we find Egyir for Team Centauri, the first non-French speaking player in this overall top 8 so far. The Hungarian driver from Team Centauri on 46,800 points. Then we find 2 further XLT teammates in 7th and 8th, with Volnera 7th with 46,130 points, and Hydra in 8th place with 46,000 points after a really good step 5 last time around. And then we're now going to have a look at the map order for today. So we're going to take the last 3 maps of step number 5, reverse them, and add a new batch of maps, as it was pretty much the case for every step. Map number 1 is going to be StarCase, the identity comprised of 3 consecutive jumps, 2 with boosters. We're going to get into that a little bit later in the map. Then map number 2 is going to be Zeppelin, the points guillotine from step number 5, and where actually Gwen faltered and lost all of his points. Then on map number 3, it's going to be Link's FreeSpirit, one of the simpler identities we've seen so far in the Grand League. Then the new batch of maps for today will include ControlTower by Firestorm, comprising of a multi-pathway jump as an identity. Then map number 5 will be ChillShake, which is the second map out of the entire map pack to use the no grip block outside of the identity. And map number 6 will be SkyEuro, comprising of an uphill slalom between holes preceded by a booster and an engine killer block. So everything will be really, really important. Check out who's outside of the fights that I can get in. I will do right now. So let's actually check in with the overall rankings. So outside the top 8, we find MiQuattro, who's currently sitting 9th place. Then we got Razi in 10th place, who are less than 1,000 points behind. Then we also can also throw in that bunch Raze and Link. That covers P9 to P12, Eric. Let me switch back to the face cam. Yeah, I'm actually seeing the ranking right now. Let's actually switch to the game scene if everything can pick up. Yes, we go. So here we go. 9th place, we've got MiQuattro with 45,870 points in 9th. Then we got Razi in 10th place with 45,470 points. Then Raze in 11th place with 45,330 points. And then Link, who is less than 1,000 points behind. Then we got Wozil in 13th place. I don't know if really Wozil can actually have a chance in the to get into the top 8. Everything will be really close in my opinion, Eric, as far as I'm concerned. And yeah, so now that we have actually got a recap of what's going on in the ranking, we're going to join back server 7 if there's anything going on. We got Tricky, we got Yavzo. I think we're going to join this server. And we got our Manwazi as well. So we're going to join server 7 for the placements. And after that placement match, we'll take a quick break. And we'll also go into the step itself. So as you can see, we're actually going to take a little bit of a break quite early. Because you can see we're only starting in 8 minutes. So it's only at 5 past 17 CET, the start of this particular step. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take a quick break from a few minutes. Don't worry, there's still gonna be the game music in the background. I'm gonna take the chance to rehydrate myself and prepare everything for the placement matches for Step 6 of OGL. Stay with us. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. It was a really quick hydration break, as I mentioned. Only took a few minutes for me to check a few things on Twitter and everything like that. We're gonna check in back with the face cam scene. There we go. So yeah, we seen the ranking a little bit earlier on. In fact, we're actually gonna go back to the top 8 ranking right now. There we go. So, as we mentioned earlier, the bottom 4 is where really everything happens. It's still pretty much up for grabs at this point in the top 8 places. And even outside of the top 8, we saw that MiQuattro was only 130 points behind Hydra. And it must be said that MiQuattro had a really good step 5. And it was absolutely needed for him to get some big point scoring going for him. And yeah, maybe this could be the chance for the Finnish driver to actually get into the combined match himself. Maybe at the expense of a French driver. I don't know. That could potentially be potentially be one of the stories that come out of it later. We also got, as I said, Razi, Raze, and Link, who are in contention with less than 1,000 points of a difference between themselves and the 8th placed Hydra, who's currently on the hot seat right now. So yeah, it's pretty much an 8-man battle for only 4 spots in the combined match on March the 7th and March the 8th. So everything is still all to play for. And it's going to be really, really interesting to actually follow. We're going to start in around 5 minutes time, so let's actually check in on the placement server that we're going to be in. We're on server number 7 for this particular placement match, and we're going to the sound of the cars a little bit further. There we go. So let's actually check in who is on the who is actually on there. So we got Tricky, currently top 5 in the standings, in the overall OGL top 8. Player for Team Versatility, and he's one of those drivers who's gonna have to fight it out to actually keep his spot into the combined match that will happen in early March. Then we got Yavzo from Team Trackmania Heroes Europe, the Dutch driver who's not had a good OGL, it must be said, and I think he's outside of the top 15 at this point, so it's pretty much just a show match to actually, well, a show match. It's pretty much just a chill match for him, and he's going to try to perform his best regardless, even though it's not going to pay out for a spot. Let's actually see who else we got here. We got Razi. Razi currently sitting in P10, as I mentioned, less than 1,000 points behind Hydra in 8th place, and he's one of the players that will actually try to get themselves into the top 8, try to get into the combined match, and potentially get a chance to actually fight with one of the bottom 8 players, and including his teammate Pack from Molotovs and Marshmallows. Tricky playing at Brest. Oh, it's actually true. I completely forgot about that. It must be said that Tricky and Gwen are also, if I'm not mistaken, Gwen is also playing at GG LAN in Brest after the end of this. End of the play day that happened at the LAN itself. So yeah, pretty good change of environment for those guys. So we got Razi. Let's see if we got anyone else. We've got Kem, who's not really a good performing player, just one of the actual admins of TM Stars, former admin of the ESL community in Trackmania. And you can see that it's actually going for Cam 7, and we're gonna see the little group photo that's actually happening at the start over here, map number 6. Map number 1, which is StarCase. Now, I'm really sorry for the tilted camera. It's like that because of the identity snapshot, and I can't really get out of it. So, yeah. You can see that there's a lot of people that are regrouped in there. Let's actually see if we can get some. So, we got some Evo Leaf guys. We've got Skydrew from Team Versatility. We got Yavzo in there. Mika. We got Clearwater from Team Lumen. Mizu from Team United. It must be said that I do know Clearwater because I was actually competing against him in another Trackmania championship, but not exactly of the scale of the Grand League. It was the Crota Formula 1 Championship, Formula 1 style competition in Stadium, which was really fun to actually follow. Wait a second, attendez. Jeez! Man, Server 7 is really where it's at in terms of entertainment in pre-race, because you see all the people gathering together to get the group photo. It's really, really cool to see. Or some people, we got Askuns, streamer, pretty new Trackmania streamer who's actually trying to gear up and get some experience before going to the Lyon Esports a little bit later this month. Let's actually see who we got in the scoreboard. Let's actually see who else we got. Last knocks from Team TBO, Mizu, as I said. We've got Ika, Askuns, Clearwater, and it seems as though we pretty much that's pretty much covered for this placement server in particular. We're just going to be waiting for the game to start. In less than 2 minutes, we will get started with the placements starting on StarCase. Now, I do take this opportunity to actually show you the map. I'm going to set up the Cam 7 at the identity. Let's actually see. Sorry for the camera displacements here. So here is the identity that we're talking about. A set of 3 drop downs that can actually either be taken the regular way with a slide around the poles and each U-turn, or taken the alternative way, which was pretty much the way that everyone has taken in TMGL, which is basically to cross the first checkpoint and jump straight down towards the next checkpoint and so on until crossing the start-finish line with the final jump. Dézoomé avec la molette. Ah, merci. Ouais, désolé Nénécroix, j'avais pas... Il me semblait que j'avais pas dézoomé assez, mais apparemment c'était pas le cas. Anyways, this is the particular identity. Now the jumps, while it's pretty it's pretty doable and in regu, it can actually be pretty easy to mess up. We actually saw some people in the Grand League themselves messing up. I'm thinking of Ryulu on step 5. I'm thinking on Tween on step 6. Most notably Tween, who lost 4 places just in the space of 2 jumps after a dodgy landing at this jump right here at the second checkpoint. So yeah, everything can still really shuffle around if you mess up your very own set of jumps. Anyways, we're gonna get started in around 20 seconds time in the step. Check in on the socials to see everything. Yep, we are gonna be good to go, and we're set to go live right now. 3 seconds left, and we're gonna get started with StarCase. Server starting in 15 seconds. As we see everybody doing burnouts in the start block. A pretty good tradition of people doing burnouts, as we see Cam slaloming and getting down the hole, actually. Little safe haven. And now we are getting started with the step placements. So don't worry about the map details. We're gonna get that after we get into the step itself. And in fact, I've actually prepared something that I was using for the step step number 6 of TMGL, and it is those lower thirds that you've probably seen before if you tuned in the OGL in the TMGL cast and the OGL cast of step 5 as well. I've prepared those and updated them with all the new times that were achieved in the step number 6 of TMGL, as we hear all the horns going off. And thank you very much, Clem3005. Merci beaucoup pour ton follow, mon gars. As we're about to get started, here we go with StarCase. Now, the first jump is going to be cleared at around 270 kilometers an hour for most players, as we're going to be following clear water for the start of the map. 270 kilometers an hour, perfectly clear. Next jump is going to be a dirt hump that you're going to have to clear at a certain speed. Around 200 kilometers an hour is needed for that jump. Clear water negotiating it perfectly here. We see Rozzy pulling a little bit of a lead, and Tricky actually having more momentum than Rozzy and overtaking him and taking the lead so far. Also, I'm really sorry if I wonder if you guys can actually hear the game well. I think my headset is a little bit too loud. Anyways, that's fixed. So Tricky and Rozzy battling it out for the lead right now in P1 and P2. We have Zoe 3/10 behind in 3rd place. Then further behind we got Shayrim, Mavi, Clearwater currently in 6th place. Loco, Skydrew currently sitting in P8, the player from Team Versatility, as they attack the second part of the map, which is a really high-speed section. And I'm going to get closer and closer to the identity, to which we're going to switch to Cam 7-4. The camera is not set up correctly. We're going to get into there right here, right now, as they're going to be ready to cross the identity. We see Rozzy, Tricky, Yavzo coming in right now. And here we go. Who gets for the first jump? It's going to be Tricky who's going to go for the first jump. Tricky going really much perfectly. And Rozzy having a really dodgy jump that's going to allow Yavzo to go through. No, actually, Rozzy having a much more speed, and Tricky also failing. They're going to go for the safe strat here. And it's going to be Yavzo who crossed the finish line in 1st place. And that's actually going to be Tricky who does that in the 1st place. So Tricky, Yavzo, Rozzy, Sherim, and Mavi, your top 5 so far. Oh, and as we see someone bouncing right in front of him. Really interesting sight, anyways. Skydrew currently sitting in P7, then we got Loco in P5, Darkwix in P9, Lasnox P8, and Clearwater so far completing the top 10 with 1 minute left on the clock for map number 1. It does look Clearwater did not have that much of a good dirt part and is currently languishing a little bit behind the field. In front of him is Lasnox and Darkwix battling it out for 8th place. Now remember, the checkpoint advantage is still very much a thing that is pretty much needed, even though the method of placement is actually different than what's been stated in the rulebook. I've actually talked about that at the start of the step forecast, as the time of completion is used to give a skill point ranking that is actually the one used for the rank placement itself. So you can pretty much go all out on one particular map and try to go for the fastest time possible, and then play it a little bit more safely for the rest of the maps. So Tricky clipping the upside of the checkpoint and having to respawn, but it doesn't seem to have hindered him all that much. It seems as though Rozzy had a little bit of a fail, and with a real ski landing for Rozzy, and they're going to cross the finish line, and that's going to be over and done with map number 1. And even a checkpoint advantage for Tricky? No, but he does have a time advantage. So your top 10 after map number 1 is Tricky, Rozzy, Yavzo, Shayrim, Loco, Skydrew, Lasnox, Darkwix, Maivy, and Takuns. Now moving on to map number 2, which was Zeppelin, which was a points guillotine in both the Grand League itself, where we saw Spam losing a lot of points, 43 points if I'm not mistaken, back in step number 5, and where we saw Gwens losing his 60 plus points that he had accumulated over the course of his 4 previous maps. So definitely a map to look out for, even though it has become a more of a get-out-of-jail-free card and an opportunity to score big points for the rest of the field. As we're going to get started with map number 2, checking in on Molotovs and Marshmallows' Razi from Croatia. Everybody, Yavzo, Tricky, and Razi emerging in the lead already, with Lasnox also joining into the mix. The player from Team TBO trying to put up a fight, but he drops a bit more momentum than these guys and gets out of the top 3, but remains in contention. He still remains in that little group, whatever, and Clearwater also trying to join in. First laps in Trackmania are always kind of hard to follow, as the music has completely cut out. I'm going to try to fix that right now. There we go. So, music now back in, and the jump has been failed by Clearwater. He's going to be forced to respawn, and Yavzo as well. So that's 2 key contenders out of the picture, and Razi has emerged in the lead, 0.2 of a second in front of Lasnox, and then half a second behind him. We find Tricky, and it seems as though the battle will be between those 2 guys for the second place, and Tricky has the advantage temporarily as he gets into the drift, and Lasnox manages to catch a bit of momentum back, but Tricky has managed to make it stick and move up to second place with 150 minutes and 55 seconds left on the clock. We're going to go through the identity for the first time from the point of Lasnox. Let's see how everybody fares in the top 3. Razi pretty much doing... Oh, with risky landing from Razi. Oh, that was really, really risky. He's being forced to respawn. He dropped too much speed, and that's going to give free reign to Tricky, who goes for the low line on the transfer checkpoint. Dunk it really nice and well. Then the second landing on the Zeppelin, but Tricky has dropped a lot of momentum. He drops even more momentum potentially. No, he was going to cross the line in first place after this first map with 100 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock. Tricky in first place, Lasnox second, Mizu third, Taku fourth, Darkwake's fifth, Revo's fifth. Razi with that fail and that respawn obligatory for him has been dropping down to 7th place. This man was in the lead just 40 seconds ago, and yeah, it didn't look good. Yavzo, meanwhile, in 8th place, 8 seconds behind the leader already, so yeah, that's going to yield quite a bit of an advantage to the guys over in the first 3 positions. Tricky, meanwhile, controlling his race so far, doing his own thing. Lasnox doing the same thing, although potentially trying to go for a bit of a more aggressive strat, trying to catch a little bit of momentum. It seems as though he's trying to pay off, with Lasnox currently sitting less than 3/10, now 3/10 behind. Oh, and Tricky cricking the wall! That's a really uncharacteristic mistake from Tricky. The flinch player from Team Versatility is going to drop out of the lead, and Lasnox inherits the lead as a consequence. Really... I wonder what happened to Tricky there, if he had a disconnect or whatever, because that was a really uncharacteristic error from the French driver. Really unfortunate to see that happen so early in the placement. Meanwhile, Lasnox is going to go for the low line. No, he's going to go for a safer, higher line in the transfer checkpoint. And he's going to go for the second Zeppelin jump. He's going to get a really risky landing, and that's potentially going to allow Tricky to get back up. No, Tricky also has a bit of a dodgy landing, and he's going to cross the line in first place, and that's going to be it. Lasnox, Tricky, Mizu, Darkwakes, Yavzo, Razi, Kem, SkyEuro, Antax, and Rivos will be your top 10 after map number 2. Moving on to map number 3 then, which is FreeSpirit, which is considered to be one of the easier identities of the current map pack. You can see the identity is going to be this entire section right here. So we got a checkpoint here that you can either go with a respawn or a Neo into it. Then you got a booster followed by a engine killer, which is then followed by a slide around a gap, a slide around a pole, and then a second booster, which you're going to have to go at a certain speed and exit at a certain speed to be able to clear the hill and cross the checkpoints to start a new lap and regain control of the engine. And we're going to be checking in on someone else. Let's see. Let's actually check in on SkyEuro, the teammate from Tricky. Rocking Ryulu's Nordef and DNB skin for the Trackmania Grand League. As the music cuts out once again. This is pretty much a game feature at this point, the music cutting out and coming back in at various points in time. Meanwhile, it seems as though Tricky, Yavzo, and Razi have emerged in the lead. Oh, and we see some big fails left, right, and center. Cam also having clinched the wall, and he's going to drop out of the top 15 here. SkyEuro promoted to P12 as a result of the mistakes by the others, and he's going to find some pretty key players here right in front of him, including Yavzo from Team THE. Let's actually see Razi, Tricky, and Darkwakes emerging in the top 3 places, with Lasnox chomping up the bit and Yavzo as well. The top 3 dream will not last long for Darkwakes as he gets overtaken by Lasnox and by Yavzo and by Justin. Yeah, he's going to start falling down the order pretty quickly here. And here comes SkyEuro, who's going to demote him to P7. And now we're going to go to the identity. Who goes for the Neo? Who goes for the respawn? Razi will go for the respawn. Everybody goes for the respawn at this point. Nobody has mastered the Neo. Freewheel. Then they're going to go around the gap, around the slot, around the pole, and then exit with around 270 to 275 kilometers an hour to actually clear the hill with sufficient speed to cross the checkpoint, regain control of the engine, and go to the final set of corners, including a final drop down to cross the start-finish line and start a new lap. Razi in first place, Tricky in second place, and it seems as though we got Yavzo in third place as well. So pretty high-profile players remaining in that butter zone, remaining in that top 3 scoring. With a minute and 20 seconds left on the clock. So, Razi, Yavzo, Tricky, Lasnox, and Justin, your top 5. Let's actually check in a little bit further behind. Check in with Clearwater, currently sitting in 16th position. Currently chasing Myv, sitting in P15. These guys are already 4 seconds down on the leaders, and it seems as though we had a little bit of a gap shrink, and it seems as though Razi has made a mistake, and he's going to drop out of third place and down to 4th place, battling it out with Lasnox right now to try to regain 3rd. Although, it seems as though Razi would potentially have the upper hand on Lasnox, given the past finishes that he has had in the Open Grand League so far. And yes, he actually makes short work of him and overtakes him for 3rd place. But he doesn't make it stick that well, though. It seems as though Lasnox is going to try to put up a little bit of a fight. And he actually manages to get more momentum than Razi. The battle still rages on. And battle rages on for P2, actually. The lead group is actually there. Yavzo getting into the checkpoint in 1st place, and it seems as though Razi has failed his respawn. He's sitting right behind Lasnox in 4th place, and everybody clearing 278 kilometers an hour for Razi, and that's going to allow him potentially to overtake Lasnox or Tricky. No, actually, yes. Lasnox gets overtaken, Tricky gets overtaken. That's up to P2 for Razi, as 10 seconds are left on the clock. Yavzo will cross the line in 1st place. Tricky will battle it out with the Croatian driver to retain 2nd place. And actually Tricky makes a mistake, and that's going to be it. Yavzo, Razi, Tricky, Lasnox, Shayrem, Justin, Darkwix, Raywas, SkyEuro, and Loco are going to be your top 10 after map number 3. Now we're moving on to the new batch of maps that have been included in the Open Grand League roster, and that is ControlTower. So you can see what we're talking about here when we see a pretty peculiar identity. So there's this jump right here, comprising with 5 different ways to actually land. You actually must land in the 3rd one here to get the most optimal line, as then is followed by a drop down into a ring CP and a beveled curve, where you actually have to get the slide before getting into the corner itself, as the game is already live. So far it seems as though we got 1 map win for Tricky, 1 for Yavzo, and 1 for Razi. I know map wins don't really count in placements, but I think it's still a pretty interesting stat to note. Lasnox going really high on the dirt and actually dropping a lot of momentum, getting overtaken by Sharing, by Yavzo, and by Darkwix. That's been demoted down to P6. Meanwhile, and actually Sharing clipping the wall really hard here, almost getting a full stop pick as it's called, and he's going to drop out of the top 10 as a result. So, Tricky, Razi, and Yavzo, your top 3 so far. We're currently following the Dutch driver. It seems as though Yavzi and Tricky are really going at it at the jump right here, battling it out for the lead right now. Tricky in the lead, only half a tenth between these guys, so everything, it's really tight margins in here. As they're going to go for the identity for the first time, are going to remain onto the point of view of Yavzo. For this first identity, you're going to see that people are going to actually release before the jump, or actually release in midair and potentially break to actually get to that butter zone third line. And Tricky will fail that identity and drop down to the lower line, and that's going to promote Razi into the lead. After lap number 1, Razi, Yavzo, Darkwix, Lasnox, SkyEuro, and Tricky's outside of the top 10. Disaster for him. Could this be the map that actually prevents Tricky from getting into that top 32 and trying to defend his spot in the Open Grand League combined match? That could be devastating for him. That tiny mistake that we saw actually Bren do as well in the Grand League Step 6, that could potentially be the one that actually destroys your mindset and completely wrecks your pace on the subsequent maps. SkyEuro currently sitting in 5th place, battling it out with Kem for 4th place, and Kem makes the mistake in 1st place, and that's going to be dropping him out, and he's going to drop even further positions. Mika gets by him, and it seems as though Rewos will be able to get by him. No, he's regained enough momentum to actually prevent that from happening. Meanwhile, Razi remaining in control of the race, 1 second ahead of Yavzo. Darkwix in 3rd place, actually chasing the pack with some relative distance, 1.3 seconds down on Yavzo. Then we got Lasnox in 4th place, 1 second behind him, and SkyDrew completing the top 5. Yes, completing the top 5, 3.6 seconds down on the leader. Yeah, Razi going through the identity for the second and final time, potentially. He's gonna go for the third one, and he gets it really well. Yavzo gets it as well. Darkwix as well. No, Darkwix will fail it. Yanox will get it. Lasnox will get it, and that's going to promote Lasnox up to 3rd place. It seems as though we had a fail from different people that we couldn't manage to catch on camera. Razi, Yavzo, Lasnox, SkyDrew, and Takuns will get into the top 5. And we also got one of the streamers, one of the player streamers actually in there. Askuns currently sitting in P9, actually in P7. Remarkable performance by the streamer trying to prepare for LES, and that's going to be it for map number 4. Razi, Yavzo, Lasnox, SkyDrew, Takuns, Darkwix, Askuns, Anima17, Clearwater, and Chem will be your top 10 after map number 4. Moving on to map number 5, which is going to... Well, sorry for the burp, that kind of came out of nowhere. The map number 5 is going to be ChillShake by Firestorm again. And you can see the identity is this particular section, which is a no grip block followed by a series of undulations that people are going to have to do really well to negotiate here to potentially get a good time. And it's one of those identities that if you fail, everything could still really unravel after that mistake. As this map has just started, we're going to be checking in on. Let's actually see. We're going to be staying on Razi for now. Yeah, we're going to stay on Razi for now. So Razi going for the jump over the curb, and actually a really risky jump to do. We saw that Tween actually failed it in step number 6, and that's cost him all of his points. No matter how everything turned out for Tween, that mistake really wrecked his mindset for the remaining of the step. Tricky, Razi, and Yavzo, your top 3 so far. Pretty much business as usual as far as this step is concerned for these 3 guys. Yavzo are emerging slightly in the lead, 1/10 ahead of Razi as we go into this particular section. Orient the Carlet and use the grass to make small corrections as they go back into the blue part. And Yavzo having clipped the wall on the inside, and that's going to drop him out of the top 1 and drop him down to 3rd place as Razi and Tricky battle it out with the half loops coming up. Go on the left side, land on the right side of the road, and watch out for this pinch in the road between the first 2 loops, and then we're going to go into the identity itself. And Tricky clipping the wall. Really unfortunate mistake from Tricky, who's going to be dropping out of the top 4 potentially, and we go to the identity with Tricky right now. Land on the right side and actually negotiate those bumps really well, and take advantage of the air control that you actually get with a no grip block to actually orient your car before getting through the freewheel and get as much speed as possible to cross the finish line. So, Yavzo, actually Lasnox, what actually happened? I've completely missed the overtake from Lasnox on Razi and Yavzo. Lasnox currently sitting in the lead of the map. Really interesting performance from the TBO driver. Oh, with a dungeon landing though, and that's going to drop him a lot of momentum. Tricky and Yavzo scoop by, and it seems as though Razi has made another mistake that dropped him out. Positions are really shuffling really quickly here. Lasnox and Razi actually clipping the wall on the inside. Let's actually see if everything goes well for him. No, he gets overtaken by Darkwix. Is Sharam in any position to actually overtake him? He could be, actually, if Razi makes any other mistake, if he gets a wall clip like Yavzo just has had in lap number 1. It seems as though he didn't, and actually get some momentum back and overtakes Darkwix on the CP. Meanwhile, Tricky, Yavzo will get through the second loops. It seems as though everything is going smooth as silk for the Dutch driver, even though Tricky has made a little bit of a mistake going into the identity for the first time, and we're going to go for the second and final time through here in these placement matches. And it seems as though Yavzo is going to negotiate perfectly with a little bit of air control. Ooh, yeah, Tricky trying to get as much momentum as possible. He's going to clean the inside wall, and that he's going to be forced to go through the booster, and he's going to drop out of the top 2 into 3rd place. And yeah, we will remain in 3rd place. Oh, but Lasnox, no, I completely missed that. Lasnox has clipped the wall on the outside. Sorry for the frame drops, guys. I'm in the middle of the storm right now. I can't really be done. But yeah, Lasnox having clinched the inside wall. And that's going to drop him down to 3rd place behind Tricky. And Tricky also makes short work of Yavzo and returns in the lead. Yavzo 2nd place. Lasnox 3rd place. And Lasnox trying to make something happen, but it will not actually happen, as the 3 seconds are now done with this map. Tricky, Yavzo, Lasnox, Sharam, Takuns, SkyDrew, Mika, Chem, Razi, and Rivals, your top 10 after map number 5. We're going to go to the 6th and final map of this step and this placement, which is going to be SkyEuro by Nadeo, with the identity, as you can see, basically consisting of a series of slaloms. a series of holes to actually slalom through, preceded by a booster and an engine killer. So here, everything will be key. Speed, release of speed, and timing of steering inputs to actually get the tightest line as possible and go with as much speed as possible to cross the start-finish line. We actually saw Massa choke it pretty clearly in lap 2 of step number 6, and we also saw Coco having such a hard break and not even being able to cross the finish line after a heavy mistake in the final lap of this particular map. So let's actually see if we can actually check in with somebody else. Someone who's in the prettiest standing at this point. Let's actually check in with Mika. I completely forgot about this player. Mika currently sitting in P10, but having a really nasty drift through there, and that's going to cost him a lot of positions, dropping him down to 24th position. Nobody going for the jump on the outside. Oh, actually, someone going for it, and he's going to be forced to respawn. That's going to be a really unfortunate for him. Mika currently sitting in P18. Let's actually check in back in on the leaders with Yavzo, Tricky, and Mizu having oh, and actually Tricky with a really risky line. Hi Cloud, thank you very much for joining me. The cast here. It's OGL Step 6 and Razi actually getting over Tricky, taking him in the second place for the underground part. Sharam also getting into the mix, trying to menace Tricky, sorry, on third place. Oh, and actually Razi having a dodgy landing, and that's going to promote Tricky back up to second place. Also remaining in the lead so far. Tricky in third place, Skydrew in fourth place, and Sharam actually overtaking Skydrew, and Razi potentially with the Here's Shaman playing with the McLaren MCL34 livery of our boys Carlos Sainz and Lando Norris over in Formula 1 right now. And as we're going to go through the identity for the first time, will the McLaren livery bring him luck? I don't know. Really brake heavily, and he seems as though he's dropped more momentum than Razi, and Razi will overtake him. Skydrew will also overtake him, and he's going to get a lot less speed than the other guys. He's going to drop down to P6 after that. Yavzo, Razi, Tricky, Skydrew, the two teammates together. Skydrew currently in third place in front of his teammate Tricky. And yes, it seems as though the versatility team is looking pretty good in this particular placement server. Yavzo and Razi remaining in the lead so far. The Dutch and Cohesion driver battling it out again. It's each other for the top honors, and Razi actually getting falling prey to Tricky space and getting overtaken to second place. Lasnox currently sitting in P7 after a really remarkable map for him last time around. It seems as though he does not have the pace to actually challenge the top guys, as less than a minute is left on the clock for the final map of the placements and the break before the actual top 32 matches. Razi, Tricky, and Yavzo in first, second, and third after this particular underground CP, and they're going to go for the really tight line through here. Razi having a little bit less speed, but that's momentum than Tricky, and Tricky is going to be right in the thick of it, trying to battling it out for the lead in here. Yavzo remaining in third place. Skydrew a little bit further behind in fourth place, playing the distance game, potentially trying to take advantage of other people's mistakes in front. It seems as though none of the top three is making any mistakes right now, as they are going to go through the identity for the final time here. The slalom is really well negotiated. Skydrew dropping a lot of momentum. Yavzo dropping a lot of momentum. And Mizu as well scooting by him. And that's going to drop allow Mizu to actually get into second place, as Razi did not get as much momentum as he wanted. And that's going to be it for map number 6. And the top 10 will be as follows. It will be Tricky, Mizu, Skydrew, Razi, Lasnox, Takuns, Sharam, Yavzo, Loco, and Kem. And with that, the placements for step number 6 are completely concluded. Now we're going to be having to wait a little bit before we get the links before we're going to get any matches to cast. I'm going to check on the Discord for that. So what we're going to do is, while we wait for that, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to take a quick break to actually enable me to rehydrate myself and get you the chance to actually grab a snack, grab a drink, and whatever. And then we'll get right back with one of the top 32 matches for the final step of the Open Grand League. Stay with us. Alright, it seems as though word on Discord, it seems as though there is a problem on placement on server number 8 and 7. It seems as though records had not been taken on SMAP number 1, so we don't know how long that will affect the placements of everybody in this particular step. We're gonna actually have to wait a little bit longer for that, and we will get back to you as soon as we hear words from over on the administrative side. Stay with us, hang tight. Alright, we're gonna get back into the base cam here. So it's a really, really interesting situation that actually developed. We are actually currently having a server issue on both servers 8 and 7, where rankings were not actually there were actually no records taken on map number 1, and it seems as though the chat over on the OGL server is going absolutely berserk right now, as people are waiting to actually get into their matches. It seems as though Broxy is currently sitting into the generating the matches, so we're gonna pretty much get a link in a few moments. But yeah, it's a really, really unfortunate thing that actually happened. I don't really know what to say. Probably the first time that we got any technical issue on the server side on this Open Grand League. Everything ran as smooth as pretty much as smooth as it could possibly be in the particular Grand League. Well, everything fine, so thank you for dropping by. And okay, you receive your rank, Iocto? Okay then. And so if it's going forward, then it's absolutely good. We're just gonna have to wait. It seems as though Roxy has relaunched the go back to the title and join using the compete menu. Hopefully we can get some links to actually see the overall ranking. To actually see the top 32 matches. If we can actually get the links, that would be actually nice. If Roxy has the top 32 matches generated. It seems as though not all the matches are being generated though, so even though it's going forward, it seems to be having quite a bit of issues today. And we're going to be waiting anxiously until we get those precious join links for the... Okay, so it seems as though we got Step 6 match 2 top. Okay, it seems as though top 32. Yeah, we got a spot in the top. We actually managed to get a top 32 server going, which I'm gonna join right now. It seems as though the matches are found. Yeah, matches are actually found, and we got the we've got all the joining links, and it seems as though, yeah, we are in game, and we're gonna switch in game to our server. Everybody's currently joining the game as we speak. Can we get some pogs in chat for actually getting the Grand League? And it seems as though not everybody has joined the server. Oh yeah, it seems as though we got everybody now. Oh wait, what? Everything seems to be broken. Holy crap, I wonder what's actually going on. But anyways, match currently starting as we hear the horns. And we're gonna get started with map number 1, which is gonna be StarCase, as previously stated. Current fastest lap of the race is held by Matt from Space Station Gaming on step number 6 with a 122.315. And it seems as though my connection has dropped. Okay, we're back now, sorry. Anyways, 122.315, the fastest lap of the race so far by Matt on StarCase. Let's actually do a little bit of a rundown of who is in this server. So we got Mika, we got Legu, we got Afi, we got Easy Power. It seems as though Cinemix is also in this server as well. Volnera is in there, Gwen is in there, Nixotic is in there, Marius is in there. We also got Legu, Zer, we got Dark, we got Hydra, we got Munrev, Sika, and we got Mixmod. So it seems as though we got a stacked server for today, which is going to be really, really nice to follow. So anyways, I hope you guys are actually good, even though we had some technical difficulties over there. I hope everything is still remaining as good as ever for you guys, and that you actually enjoy the cast, even despite having a little bit of issues. So I've already explained the identity pretty much beforehand. We're going to actually get another camera set up, as we're going to get started with the top 32 step match number 2. Match number 2 on the in less than 15 seconds. Let me actually update the title. No technical problems at the moment? Okay. Okay, so we got the camera set up. It's gonna be there for us to actually watch, and I actually updated the match, and we are about to go live, and we're gonna be checking in with Afi, currently sitting in first place in the standings with one of the 2 players over 49,000 points in the ranking. First jump negotiated really well by everybody. Getting a little bit of airtime was Marius89 on the inside of the dirt curb, and then we got the jump pretty much negotiated perfectly by most of these guys, except for Afi, who's currently dropping down to 14th place as we speak. But remember, this is only map 1 out of the first out of 6, and only the first of the 3 maps where scoring is pretty much for everyone. We're gonna actually remove the chat here. There we go. So Afi not having the best start of his life right now, but remaining in that right group, less than a second behind the remainder of the field. Volnera currently having a little bit of a lead to Mixmod, 4/10 of a second, 4/100th of a second between him and Mixmod. Gwen currently sitting in 3rd place and looking to actually pounce on the XLT driver and his compatriot. It seems as though Gwen has much better line, but Ceramix actually has gotten a lot more speed than Gwen, and he's going to scoop by him, as they're going to go to the identity part really shortly here for the first time in this step. And Ceramix, having a lot, so good of a corner, and he's going to drop out of the lead, and Gwen with a much better speed, but he's going to be forced to actually run wide, and that's going to potentially drop him out of the lead battle. But no, he currently remains in the right group, as we're going to go through the identity. Let's actually see who gets it. Pretty nice. Volnera gets it really nice. It seems as though we got a respawn. It was Sika who was forced to respawn. Afi getting really well. Legu having a much better identity than everyone else, and Yafi managed to get back up in the lead and crosses the line in first place as of lap number 1. Afi, Legu, Gwen, Dark, Volnera, Ceramix, Hydra, and Mixmod, your top 8. The fastest of the race so far, with Afi with a 1:27.049. So Afi currently 2/10 behind, in front of Legu, who has joined him back into the lead positions, and Afi clinching the inside wall, and he's going to drop out of the lead and out of the top 5. He's going to be demoted down to 6th place as Ceramix overtakes him, and now even P7 as Mixmod overtakes Afi. Really, really uncharacteristic mistake for the Swiss driver. Anyways, it's going to be a lead change up front with Legu in first place. 4/10 behind we find Volnera in 2nd place, currently playing from Brest, remember. Tricky, all 3 players who are playing from the GG line are there. We got Gwen in 3rd place, Volnera in 2nd place, and Tricky currently sitting in 8th place, but trying to get back up to really good positions with Afi, his next target, in 7th place. Let's actually check in on Ceramix right now, currently sitting in 6th place after getting overtaken by Mixmod, the official caster for ORL in the Trackmania Grand League for GamingPD.com. As they're going to go through the identity for the 2nd time. That's actually for Legu. Slowing down over the crest, getting into the first jump, getting it really nicely, almost a really dodgy landing. Let's actually see Gwen trying to get through as well. Legu going for the safe strap. People are going to go for the drop down. Not so far. It seems as though only Afi actually went for it, and it seems as though Ceramix has made a mistake we didn't catch on camera. He's been forced to respawn at the actual start line, and he's going to be dropping out of the top 10, and even not managing clearing the jump correctly. Legu with the fastest stop of the race so far with 1:24.974, and he gets a really dodgy landing on the dirt, and that's going to allow Gwen to get back up to him. But Dark actually has some off momentum. I didn't actually see him rise him. Hello. The player from Team Wanted back up to 2nd place, battling it out with Gwen. Legu remaining in the lead so far, but less than 2/10 separate him from Gwen and Dark. And actually, Dark clinching the inside wall. He's going to have a lost the speed through the loop. He's going to clear barely, but that's potentially going to allow Tricky to move back up and try to catch him. Afi also starting his ascension back up the leaderboard. Currently in 5th place. Mixmod in 6th place just behind him. Hydra in 7th place, and Tricky having clinched the inside wall. He's dropped a lot of momentum, and that's going to drop him out of P4 down to P7, and Mika also potentially could skid by him. No, not yet. It seems as though the battle will be on for Tricky to retain P7. Meanwhile, Legu and Gwen, as well as Dark. Oh, actually, Dark having a lot of dodging the landing, and that's going to potentially allow Mixmod and Afi to get back into contention. Let's actually follow Gwen into the identity. First jump, really nicely done. Let's actually go into the second jump, almost perfect. They're going to go for the safe final turn, and they're going to be Legu and Gwen in the top 2 after lap number 3. Afi moving up to 3rd place as Drought got overtaken by the Swiss driver, and Mixmod having a little bit dropped down, 1.2 seconds down on Dark. Hydra in 6th place, currently battling it out with Mixmod. Then Tricky in 7th place, Volnera in 8th place. Legu with the fastest up of the race so far with 124.546, and Volnera having a really tricky dirt landing, but it seems as though it did not really hinder him too much and will remain in 8th place, 4/10 in front of Mika. Meanwhile, one of the only non-French-speaking players in this first server, Marius89, currently sitting in 10th place, and it seems as though Mixonica has been currently sitting in 14th place, 15 seconds down. Some pretty big mistakes by some players, and CRX currently rounding out the field in last place, 16 seconds down on the leader. Back up to the front now with Gwen 8 tenths down on Legu. Legu currently continuing to lead the race convincingly as Gwen clinches the inside of the wall, potentially allowing Dark to move back up to a contention position, and that's going to drop Gwen potentially behind for the second. Yep, 1.2 seconds down on Legu as of right now, as Legu is going to go through the identity for the 4th time, and we're going to be following Gwen as well. First jump done correctly. Legu having a much better jump. It seems as though, the remaining order will be the same. Legu and Gwen in the first 2 positions on the penultimate lap, and Afi overtaking Dark yet again at the start, going for the jump at the end into the start line, and that seems to be paying off dividends for Afi, currently back up to 3rd place. Dark in 4th, Tricky 5th, Hydra 6th, Mixmod 7th, and Volnera 8th so far. 3 XLT drivers in the top 8, really good haul for the French team. 123.865, the current fastest stop of the race by Afi, currently sitting in 3rd place, 2.9 seconds down on Gwen. It seems that we had some pretty big mistakes coming from Gwen, or potentially a regain of pace from Legu, who's currently currently we have a 1.8 second gap between Legu and Gwen, so that's looking pretty good for the versatility driver. And make no mistake, Gwen is going to try to make it everything he can in his position to actually get to the win and potentially score those 20 points to actually get the map win. Dark in 4th place, 3.5 seconds down on the leaders, 6 tenths behind Afi, currently sitting in 3rd place, the first Swiss driver in the rankings so far. Hydra in 5th place, Dark in 4th place. Let's actually see how Legu and Gwen go. Legu, it seems as though Gwen have been forced to respawn. No, it seems as though no respawn for Gwen. Legu and Gwen will cross in 1st and 2nd place. Afi in 3rd place for going with a safe start. Dark in 4th place. Tricky in 5th place. Oh, actually, is he going to get overtaken by Hydra? Yes, he will. After the start, well, Hydra will go up to 5th. Tricky down to 6th place. Hydra and Valera in 7th place, and Tricky will fail the jump, and that's going to drop him out of the top 8 even, as Mixmod gets by him, and Mika gets by him. Yes, 9th place for Tricky. This is not looking good for the French driver. Meanwhile, his teammate Leger continuing to control the race convincingly. 124.360 for Gwen, who was the fastest man on track as of lap number 5. Gwen currently sitting less than a second behind Legu. So it seems as though he's trying to catch up bit by bit, but will he be able to make enough of a catch-up to actually challenge Legu in the final identity? That remains to be seen, and we're going to get into that part in the best part of 10 to 15 seconds, as we're going to get to the drop down in a few moments. Afi remaining in 3rd place, 2.3 seconds down on the leaders, followed then by Dark, 2.4 seconds down on him, and then Hydra. The gaps have widened quite a bit here over the course of these 6 laps on map number 1. Let's actually follow Gwen here. Half a second down now on Legu. Any mistake by Legu on the identity, that could spell disaster for the driver, and Gwen going for the really aggressive line here. But it seems as though Legu has got everything under control. We'll go for the final jump. He fails the jump, and that's going to allow Gwen to win the map. Unbelievable stuff. Legu in 2nd place, Afi 3rd, Dark 4th. Hydra will overtake his teammate Volnera in 5th place. Then Volnera in 6th place. Mixmod will cross the line in P7. Mika will grow into P8. Tricky in P9. Then Marius will go through the jump and get overtaken by Exotica, who finishes in P10. 10th place for the American driver. 123.112, the fastest up of the race by Gwen. 11th place for Sika. 12th place for Marius89. Moonrev in 13th place. Zero in 14th place. Ceramix will actually cross the line in 15th place, and Easy Power will cross the line in 16th and last position. So, as Legu seem to have everything under control, it only took one mistake at the final jump on the final lap to completely undo everything. So, Gwen wins map number 1 with 20 points and leads the standings. Your top 8 will be as follows after map number 1. Gwen first with 20 points, Legu second with 14, Afi third with 12, Dark fourth with 10, Hydra 5th with 9, Volnera 6th with 8, Mixmod 7th with 7, and Mika 8th with 6 points. As we're gonna go into map number 2 in the space of a few seconds. Here we are then, map number 2. We're gonna set up the camera for the identity itself. No, not this, no, Spanish previous way. Okay, free cam, and we're gonna go right here. So, this is the gentle jump that we've been talking about right now. So, you know the map right now. This is Zeppelin by MD Point. The points guillotine on both step number 5 and step number 6. Step 5 for Gwen in the Open Grand League, and Spam in the Trackmania Grand League. 123.358, the fastest step of the race so far, with attributed to Papu as of step number 6, and he did that in the previous step in step number 5 at TMGL. So, definitely a record potentially looking to be broken here in this Open Grand League. We'll have to wait and see. Going into the wall ride right here, we're going to have a little bit of a tricky jump requiring a bit of a setup right here. Go through the ride really well, then get at least 330 kilometers an hour to actually clear the jump, go to the left side and get enough airtime to clear the gap and land back onto the road. And moving on with a dirt turn where people actually have a choice between the wallbang and the regular way, and it seems as though we saw Volnera going for the wallbang. If well executed, according to Papu, that could potentially gain 2 or 3, save 2 or 3 tenths on your lap times. Then we go into this platform part that precedes the identity. Landing on the platform, or full speed around the bumble. This is where Gwen lost all of his points. Remember, around the outside, get as much speed as you can, jump onto the blimp, clear the blimp really nicely, and you can either go left or right. Here, Gwen goes to the right, then here comes the transfer checkpoint. Then you're gonna have to dunk it onto the landing right here, and then get enough speed for the second Zeppelin jump right here. Land on the side to get all 4 wheels on there, then the final drop down to cross the start-finish line and start lap number 2. So then, Gwen in the lead in front of Legu and Afi in the overall ranking. Map number 2 underway as we're gonna be spectating Dark for the start. So everybody remaining pretty much grouped up at this point. Start pretty much neat and tidy on behalf of all of the players. Dark emerging a little bit in the lead, Gwen also emerging a little bit in the lead, and then we're gonna have the big point scorers actually getting in there. We got Gwen, we got Legu, we got Volnera, we got Mixmod, we got Legu in there as well. We got Nixotica, we got Dark. Yeah, it's actually a pretty good top 5 right now, as they're gonna go for the wall ride for the first time right here. Pretty tight wall ride with the cam switch, thankfully. Then through the jump, let's actually see if there are any fails in there. No, everybody gets it pretty much clear. Afi meaning a little bit further behind, just behind the top 5 actually, and Volnera going for the wallbang, as does Afi, but it seems as though Afi did not have as much of a gain as he expected, and will remain in 6th place and potentially actually battle it out with Hyra for retaining that 6th place. Meanwhile, Tricky has not had a good start. He's currently sitting in P11, and yeah, it seems as though Dark has made a mistake and he's been forced to respawn. He potentially fell into the hole, and that's going to drop him out of contention for this map. Volnera in the lead, Legu in 2nd place, Mixmod 3rd, Afi 4th, and Gwen in 5th place. Let's actually follow with him on the first Zeppelin jump. Volnera clearing it pretty much nicely. Gwen going for the right side. Gwen pretty much getting it perfectly here. And we're going to go through the transfer jump, and it seems as though he's going to be able to dunk it really nicely here. And let's actually see the remaining jump. Volnera, Volnera and Gwen having a lot less speed and having a wobble, and that's going to drop him down into the order, down to P10 and P12 respectively, and Legu will emerge in the lead. Afi in 2nd place, Hydra in 3rd place, Mika actually emerging as well, Easy Power from Team Centauri also in as well. Pretty good battle for the top 5. Legu with the fastest lap of the race so far with the 128.605. So, pretty tricky first blimp for the 2 leading drivers at this point. Volnera, the leader going into the Zeppelin, had a pretty dodgy landing at the 2nd Zeppelin jump, dropping a lot of momentum, and same goes for Gwen, who actually managed to get really well onto the second transfer jump, and that's going to really be gutting for him. It seems as though it's going to be the identity that will be the bane of Gwen's existence. Meanwhile, Lego remaining in the lead. Second place for Afi, half a second behind the French driver. Then we find Mika and Hydra and Easy Power. A really good battle for third place, and Afi has made a mistake and dropped a lot of momentum, and that's going to drop him out of second place and down to P5 as Tika also gets overtaken, and that's going to drop him out of contention for now, at least, as he gets down to 8th place, 2.9 seconds down on the leader. Let's actually see how everything goes for the rest of the people, and Afi will be forced to respawn. Really devastating mistake from the leader of the overall ranking so far, as my connection drops and now comes back in. Hydra currently in second place, Legu in third place, Mika in third place. Sorry, my throat needed to clear. Third, Legu with a 1.2 second lead over Hydra and Mika, who are quickly battling it out for second place. Sika in fourth place, Easy Power in fifth place, Tricky in sixth place, Nixotic is seventh, and Gwen will complete the top 8, as Afi is currently sitting down in 13th position. The leader of the overall ranking not looking too good so far as of right now. Let's actually get back up to the lead battle. Legu currently sitting pretty safely with 124.156. He's the fastest man on track so far, fastest up of the race. And yeah, then we got Mika 1.1 second down. Then 2/10 further down we find Hydra, then Sika just behind those two. A really good battle for second place here. And then we got Easy Power in 5th place, as they're all gonna go for the wall bang. Tricky also emerging back into the top 5 contention, as does Nixotica. The man over from America is looking to have a pretty good, have a pretty solid footing right here and score some vital points. Checking back in on Hydra, currently 1.3 seconds down on the leader, as they're going to go through the identity for the third time. Legu getting really well onto the Zeppelin, having a really nice landing. Let's actually see Mika, Easy Power, Sika, Nixotica, and Tricky getting really well through here. Tricky overtaking Nixotica again for P6, and it seems as though the battle will continue to rage on between those two drivers. Meanwhile, Gwen will remain in 8th place so far, getting a really good, much better landing than on lap 1, and that's going to allow him to cross the line in 8th place again. Meanwhile, Legu remaining in the lead, 1.2 seconds ahead of Hydra. 6/10 further down we find Mika. Then we got 4/10 down, we got Easy Power and Sika battling it out for 4th place. Sika having overtaken Easy Power for 4th place. Then we got Tricky in 6th place. Then we got Nixotica just behind him in 7th place, less than 2/10 between these two drivers. Then we find Gwen in 8th position, completing the top 8 so far. Then we find the bigger threats. Afi in the leader of the ranking, 12th place, 15 seconds down on the overall leaders. Then we got Volnera currently sitting in P7 in the overall ranking. Remember, he's currently sitting in 14th place, 22 seconds down. 124.165, equal fastest time actually for Gwen with Tricky as of lap number 3. And we're going to be checking back in with the leaders right now, as Legu has up for quite a bit of buffer. He must have had a much better dirt part than the others. Currently over 2 seconds up on Mika, currently sitting in 2nd place. The man from the team Next Event really having a not having anything to be shy about. He's currently showing some really solid performance so far on the map as of lap number 4. As we're gonna go into the next Zeppelin yet again. And Legu has been forced to respawn. I've completely missed that, and yes, he will be dropping out of contention for the lead. Hydra will be promoted into the lead, as does Mika, who's currently battling it out with Hydra in 2nd place. Who gets the best landing? Both get the same landing, and that's going to be Hydra on the penultimate lap in the lead of the race. Mika 1/10 of a second down on him, and potentially trying to make it something happen and try to overtake. And actually, Mika gets the wall, and that's going to promote Sika into 2nd place and give a little bit of breathing room to Hydra, who's going to inherit the lead with a 1-second gap. Gwen will get back up to 3rd place. Mika dropping down a lot of places here. Nixotica will be up to 4th place, battling it out with Tricky. It seems as though the 4th place will not last long for the American driver. Huge mistake from Legu, who dropped down to P9 as a result of that really unfortunate mistake from the French versatility driver. Meanwhile, Hydra will continue to lead convincingly and will actually get overtaken by Gwen and Sika as he dropped a lot of momentum. Gwen will return to the lead and potentially take his 2nd map win in the later stages. 124.1041, the fastest up of the race so far with Gwen. The 15-year-old player from Team Game Ward, hailing all the way from Brittany, the region that I love, the region that I live in, currently playing at the GG LAN in Brest, not showing any signs of fatigue whatsoever, and currently having a much better map so far, despite a really shaky start and that really shaky first Zeppelin at lap number 1, as they're going to go through the final, through the Zeppelin for the penultimate time. Gwen going to the right as opposed to the other drivers going to the left side. Pretty much donking on the transfer line, pretty much going for an average height line here. Then Gwen having a much better landing in here. Let's actually see where Sika goes. And yes, Sika will actually drop a little bit of pace and fell to 4/10 down on the leader on the final lap. Gwen first, Sika second, Exotica third, Mika fourth, then follows Ceramix back up to 5th place, then Tricky and Legu, the two versatility teammates, in 6th and 7th, and completing the top 8 so far is Dark, battling it out with Legu right now for the benefits of 7th position. Meanwhile, Dark remaining behind Legu in 8th place. Then we got Mixmon in 9th, and Afi, leader of the overall ranking, remember, completing the top 10. Gwen, meanwhile, 8/10 of a second up on Sika. It seems as though Sika will not be able to challenge the Game War driver, as he will probably cruise and save his way to his 2nd map win of the day. Exotica 3rd, Mika 4th, Tricky in 5th place. Tricky having the gaps have really opened up. Besides that battle for 1st place, it seems as though all gaps have opened up, and Tricky and Legger are actually the ones to follow, as Tricky gets some really unfortunate bump in the hole and be forced to respawn. 123.652, the fastest up of the race so far by Gwen as of lap number 5, and Gwen will be going through the identity for the final time. Ooh, really tight landing for Gwen here on the first Zeppelin jump. Really low line, and that's going to be dropshing him, and he's going to be forced to respawn. Sika will win the first map of his Open Grand League career. If he does not fail the jump, though, he won't, and that's going to be it. Sika will win the map. Gwen will cross in 2nd place if everything goes correctly. It seems as though we got a lot of damage in the identity. Gwen in 2nd place, Mika in 3rd place, Dark in 4th place, Mixmon in 6th place. Exotica is continuing to fall down repeatedly. Hydra will cross the line in 6th place. Then we're gonna find Exotica, who's been forced to respawn. Tricky in 7th place, Ceramix in P8, Legu in P9, Volnera into the top 10 with the fastest man on track with a 124.214. Exotica in 11th place, Hafi in 12th place, Easy Pawa in 13th place. Marius will cross the line in 14th position. Then we're going to find the 2 remaining drivers. Zer, who's going to be forced to actually go for the respawn in here. And then we're going to find Moonrev a little bit further down, who's just getting to the Zeppelin, as FTC Zer. Oh, actually Zer having a really tight landing on there. Does he turtle? He does turtle. He's going to be forced to respawn and actually go for the booster on the end. Really unfortunate stuff from the FTC driver from France. But he will manage to eventually get over to the finish line in 15th position. And Moongrave will follow suit in 16th and last position. Really unfortunate finish for Gwen. Again, the identity throwing a monkey wrench into his plans. And Nixotica failing down the order after such a good showing. Really shameful for the American driver. But Gwen will remain in the lead with 34 points after map number 2. 24 points gives Sika 2nd place. Then 3rd we find Dark with 20 points. Then Legu 4th with 19. 5th place for Mika with 18. Hydra 6th place with 17. And Mixmon and Afi on equal 16 points, 7th and 8th respectively. Moving on to map number 3, which is going to be FreeSpirit, as I'm going to be setting up the identity camera. If you excuse me, there we go. This is going to be the global view that we're going to get of the identity. So you see 1 booster followed by an engine killer and 2 slides, and then a final booster to go up the hill and get to the checkpoint to regain control of the engine and cross the start finish line after the drop down. Fastest up of the race so far with the 122.889 is Papoose, which was established again on step number 5, and it seems as though we got yet another record to be broken. It hasn't been broken on Zeppelin. Could it be broken on could it actually be broken on FreeSpirit? That remains to be seen. But Gwen, so far, it seems as though his worst map has fallen out of favor. His worst map for Step 5. I don't know exactly how he currently feels on the actual Step 6 maps, and the actual meat and potatoes, which are maps 4, 5, and 6. ControlTower, ChillShake, and SkyEuro. But the map that actually cost him so much on step number 5 is now behind him, and he's been able to score some pretty good points after 2 maps, as we see everybody failing the entry to the dirt part. Really rare sight indeed, even though it's only in the warm-up. Let's actually go back to Sika, currently a player from VOD Esports, having shown really strongly in this in the map, being there when it counted, and actually showing some really good performance, even though Gwen was the man with the faster pace. He was there to actually regu everything, and he was the one to actually pick up map number 2. Really great stuff from the French driver, who actually secured. As we hear a gigantic horn from Sardosh's self-harm Twitch ban moment. And yeah, as I said from Sika, really important stuff actually to get a map win under his belt into the Open Grand League. And we're going to be following the Bog Esports driver as he will start the map. Salut Pixel, j'espère que t'as apprécié le cast, même si c'est en anglais. Hello Divingo, thank you very much for joining into the cast of step number 6 of the Open Grand League. We're currently on map number 3 out of 6, and the last map where nobody gets punished for the finish outside of the top 8. So top 9 to 16 is going to be still rewarding points and adding to the points tally. So Gwen and Easy Power currently emerging into the league battle. Exotica also having a really good corner through there and emerging into the top 3 fights. Gwen in first place, then we find Easy Power in second place, Exotica in third. Thank you, Leoft, for the follow. And Exotica battling it out with Gwen for the lead right now, and Volnera also joining into the mix. Volnera having a much better slanted corner through here as he's going to enter the dirt part and go into first place, going to the lead. Mixmod following him right behind, and then Afi in third place. But look at this group right here. We got Exotica, we got Gwen, we got Mika, we got Dark, we got a lot of people actually battling it out for third position, with actually Ceramix having dropped down a little bit, and then we find the versatility teammates of Tricky and Legger. Tricky in 9th place, Legger in 15th place. He has done a much unneeded mistake in here, and everybody going for the respawn through the identity for the first time. The slide around the gap, the slide around the hole, and that's going to be the booster here. Pretty much cleared by everyone. Volnera having less speed than Afi. Will Afi be able to overtake him? No, actually yes. Slightly, he does get a temporary advantage here. Let's actually see over the drop. Volnera will be able to actually overtake him. No, it's going to be Afi who crosses the line first. No, it's actually Volnera who get the whole shot after lap 1 with 1/100th of a second separating the two. Volnera getting the fastest up of the race so far with 1:27.322. Afi first, Rock in second, and high. Volnera has dropped a lot of momentum. He's dropped a lot of speed as he clinched the inside wall, dropping out of the top 8 down to 13th position, just behind Ceramix from TeamGamingPrivé.com. And Gwen and Afi actually battling it out with Dark as well. It seems as though it's a really, really tight battle here for first place, and Gwen will emerge in the lead, looking to pick up the spoils like he did on StarCase and get his map win. That actually slid through his fingers on the last identity in over on Zeppelin. Sorry for that. My throat is kind of like starting to dry out. Anyways, Gwen and Dark in first and second, then Exotica in third. It seems as though Afi has made a little bit of a mistake, dropped down some momentum, get overtaken by Exotica and Mixmod in fourth. Afi in fifth place. Sika currently sitting in sixth position, the player from VOD Esports, currently looking well, being alive and well, dropped down to 8th place after being overtaken by Volnera and Mika as they go to the identity for the second time in a row. Dark and Gwen battling it out. It seems that Gwen got more momentum and will overtake Dark into the checkpoints. Really nice move from Gwen, who managed to get much more speed at the exit of the booster than Dark did and cleared the uphill faster. And Gwen will lead after map number 2, 0.2 of a second in front of Dark in second place. And Afi third place, half a second down. And just behind him we find his teammate Volnera. Gwen with the fastest lap of the race so far with a 1:23.650. Sika in 6th place, battling it out with Exotica, the American driver from Team 300, looking pretty actually competitive here. 1 second down on the leader, actually less than a 10th down, now a 10th down on Sika, but remaining in that right group, remaining in that butter zone of quick point scoring positions, and remaining in those tight battles for position. Exotica and Sika battling it out with each other, Mixmod as well, Mika as well, and Volnera dropping down a lot of speed after having a clinch, and Exotica will be forced to respawn. That's going to be it for the American driver, as he will drop down to 15th position just behind Ceramix, and that's going to allow some breathing room for Sika, currently sitting in P4 behind Afi. Afi currently sitting half a second down on the two leaders who are still battling it out. Une vraie bataille de chiffonnier, as we would say in French. Dark currently in first place, 2 seconds down, 2/10 down on Gwen, as they're going to both go for the respawn. Everybody going for the respawn in this Open Grand League version of FreeSpirit, and Dark dropping potentially a bit more momentum than Gwen. Let's actually see. Gwen with the 280 km/h booster, and yes, he does drop a bit more momentum, but Afi has more momentum than both of these players combined, and he's going to get back into contention for the second place here. Let's actually see over the drop down if Afi will be able to overtake Gwen. No, it seems as though Gwen will be able to overtake Dark and cross the line with less than 1/100th of a second between them, and Gwen will take the lead into lap number 2. Then we find Afi in second place, battling it out with Dark currently sitting in third place, Sika in fourth place, Mixmod in fifth, Legu 6th, Mika 7th, and Tricky completing the top 8 so far, battling it out with his teammate Legu. Mika dropping down to 8th place, 1:23.400, the current fastest up of the race with Afi. You're so not too used to you being French. Well, I do like to get a few French phrases, a few French expressions in there to actually kind of illustrate what I would have said in my native language. But anyways, Gwen currently sitting in first place, 0.3 of a second up on Dark, and Afi currently in contention for the second place finish with Dark, the player from Team Wanted, having to work tooth and nail to actually keep his second place, but it will not happen. The Swiss driver from Team Exalty, Afi, leader in the standings of the OGL, remember, he's currently looking set to score the points for second place and 14 points. That's 40 points to back, remember, that's 2 points more than third place. And it might not seem like much, but in the context of an entire TMGL step or OGL step, it is very important. And Afi actually getting a little bit more momentum back and actually having a lot more speed in the uphill than Gwen, but Gwen will remain safe in the butter zone, remain in the lead as he crosses the checkpoint to regain control of the engine into the final dirt, into the final drop down, and crossing the start finish line for the penultimate time. Starting the penultimate lap now. Gwen first place, 0.6 up in front of Afi in second place. Then Dark in third place with 0.8 down on the leader. Then 1.4 seconds down on Dark, we find Sika, the map winner on Zeppelin, currently having a good step, trying to pick up the spoils, pick up as many points as he can get. He does not need to actually get into a fight for position and for the lead here. He's currently sitting really well in those positions. Gwen, the fastest man on track so far with 1:23.410, still credited with the fastest step of the race with 1:23.400. Gwen remaining in the lead, 0.8 in front of Dark, and Afi again looking to fight against Dark. It seems as though the French drivers got a little bit more of the upper hand compared to the previous lap going into the dirt section, but Afi trying to go to throw everything he can at Dark, throw everything he can muster in terms of pace, in terms of actual lines, going for really aggressive lines, going for the respawn. He will not go for the Neo. Don't worry, hey man. Don't worry, hey man. You are in for the right time. You're in for the meat and potatoes, which are maps 4, 5, and 6. Afi getting a bit more speed than Dark, but it's not enough to actually close the gap and get back up to its contention for second place. Dark will remain safe, at least for the time being, as they're going to start this final lap of map number 3, FreeSpirit, for the final time in the OGL. We're going to see Gwen again in the lead, 0.7 of a second up front of Afi. Then, oh, actually, Afi have made a mistake. Having made a mistake, he clipped the inside. He must have clinched the wall somewhere. I didn't catch it on camera. I'm really sorry. And that's going to drop him out of contention for the lead. Now, all the battle will remain between Gwen and Dark in first and second. Then, 1 second down on Afi, we find Sika in 4th place. Then, Mixmod and Tricky battling it out with each other for the benefit of 5th position. That's 1 point more. Now, there's a difference of 1 point between the two places. 9 points for 5th place, 8 points for 6. 1:23.660. The fastest man on track was Dark as of lap number 5. Dark currently sitting in second place, 0.4 of a second down on Gwen as their last checkpoint, but that gets back up to 0.6 after that first third corner. Gwen, as I said, the 15-year-old player all the way from Brittany, playing under the banner of Team Game Ward, currently sitting at the GG LAN in Brest for the weekend, potentially looking to get a spot in the grand final at said LAN. Would be looking pretty good looking indeed to get that, and the OGL as well for the combined match, as they're going to go through the identity for the final time. Gwen with a bit less momentum than Dark actually, but Dark will not be able to close the gap, and that's going to be it for this particular map. Afi will be safe in 3rd place, and your top 3 will be done. Gwen will win map number 3, Dark in 2nd place, Afi 3rd, Tricky will cross the line in 4th place, Mixmod 5th place, Niggy 6th place, Sika down to 7th place after being overtaken, Mika in 8th place, Hydra in 9th, Zer 10th. Next Audica down to P 11th place, then we're going to find Volnera in 12th place, and joint fastest up of the race for Dark with 1:23.400 with Gwen, then Ceramix in 13th place, Marius 89 down to 14th position, Easy Power will grow across the dirt, drop down to cross the line in 15th place, and then Moonrevo follows suit in 16th position. It just shows the top 8. Yeah, if you want the full ranking, you're gonna have to go to the Open Grand League title pack and actually look at the ranking that way in the homepage of the title pack. Right behind top 8 is Miquacho. Miquacho does need a really good step. Remember, Hydra is in 8th place. I think it's set to disappear when closed. I think it's due to my gamepad settings. I'm really sorry about that. Yeah, merci beaucoup Leoft, merci beaucoup pour les mots, ça fait plaisir. Miquacho is currently sitting 130 points behind Hydra, who's the last man standing in 8th position. So yeah, everything is still to play for the top 8 positions. So yeah, everything can still change. Anyways, we're moving on to Control Tower by Firestorm yet again. The map who's made the most maps for the man who's made the most maps for the actual Grand League and open for the actual Grand League map pack. Fastest up of the race is a 113.503 by Tween on step number 6, who easily won the 100 euros, raising second place as well on the other server. Really interesting. Sorry for that, I'm still a little bit sick. So it seems as though we might have a good amount of shuffle in the top 8 as a result of that. So remember, while the top 4 remains relatively safe, the bottom 4 are really where it's at. It's gonna be game on for the remainder of this step. Start going into the jump right now, 410 kilometers per hour, around 420 kilometers an hour to clear the jump really nicely, not to get the bump on the landing. Through the loop they go. Half loop into a drop down. Also, sorry for the cars. I'm gonna try to actually change that as they're gonna go through the identity. Oh shit. Sorry for that. Yeah, it seems as though we're gonna be stuck for that. I don't have my controller plugged in, so yeah, I think we're gonna have to make do with the cars disappearing. I'm really sorry about that. I've been forced to do a full computer reset after a boot loop issue on my computer, so I have lost everything. I've lost my games, I lost my settings, so yeah. Hit once. Oh, okay. There we go. We got it solved. Thank you my boy. Thank you my boy Scotty for actually helping me out. And there we go, the meat and potatoes. Bottom 8 will drop all of the points they scored. Got me back. You got me back. Sorry for the poor accents. Anyway, it seems as though everybody's pretty much grouped up. Gwen emerging a little bit in the lead, having a little bit of a wide line though, and it's gonna allow Volnera into the lead, and Styrmix having going all over the place right there and dropping down the last position with that poor dirt line. And meanwhile, Sika currently remaining in P7, right into the right grouping. It seems as though yeah, we got 6 tenths down. We got 6 tenths to pick up. Oh, it seems as though we got a mistake from Sika. He's gonna drop out of the top 8, and that's 31 points down the drain for the VOG driver. He would not actually be the good. It's no bueno for Sika. Sorry for the lack of words. Words are starting to come out. Meanwhile, Dark in the lead with 4 tenths of a second up on Volnera, but it seems as though Volnera has made a mistake and drops down to 4th place as he gets overtaken by Afi Legger, and Gwen will demote him down to 5th place. Gwen with a much higher speed than everyone else. Hydra is 130 points up on Miquacho. Miquacho is 9th place. Oh no, Gwen will fail the identity again! Lap number 4, he will be forced to respawn! After lap number 1, such a devastating identity for Gwen. The exact same mistake that Bren did on step number 6 of TMGL. Dark in the lead, less than a 100th between them and Afi will get into the lead after that dirt turn. Then Exotica in 3rd place, Verler in 4th place, Mixmod 5th, Sika 6th, 07th, and Easy Power in 8th. Fastest up of the race so far with Dark with a 116.667. Gwen will fall down to last place, and that's pretty much going to be game over for him right now. He's 10 seconds down on the last place, on the top 8 place. Currently, Easy Power with 54 points. That will be down the gutter for Gwen, and Easy Power is going to have to fight against Legu and Mika and Tricky. These are going to be 3 drivers who have got a lot to lose as well. 27 points for Legu in 9th place, then we got 24 for Mika in 10th, and Tricky currently sitting in 11th has 22 points, and he's going to be set to overtake Mika potentially before they go to the identity. Sorry again for the burp. Nothing's going on. I was unsure of being into top 8 before the step. I pretty much think that it's good. I think so. I do think so. I think I don't know if Hydra can confirm that, but I'm pretty sure Gwen is sure to go into the top 8, into the combined match. And Exotica, will clip the upside of the identity, and that's going to promote a lot of players, and he's going to fall out of the top 8. Tricky will be promoted up to 8th position and retain those 22 points, and then we get demoted by Mika, who overtakes him, and he's going to move up to 40. And actually, Tricky has made a mistake. Mika made a mistake as well. He's going to be forced to respawn, and that's the order shuffling so much in this first 2 laps. I can't believe it. Afi will remain in 1st place. Dark in 2nd place, 6 tenths of a second down on him. Then 3 seconds down on the leader we found Afi's teammates Volnera battling it out with Mixed Mode. Fastest up of the race so far for Afi with 1:14.055. Sika currently remaining in 5th place, the player from VOG who won map number 2, which was Zeppelin. 4 seconds down on the leader, but currently Easy Power is hot on his heels. Easy Power does not have anything to lose. He's currently sitting in 6. He currently has 6 points to his credit. I think second to last in the overall ranking with only 6 points. Only Moonrev precedes him. Only Moonrev follows him. And it seems as though the remaining order... Meanwhile, Gwent is trying to start his climb back up the ranking. 6.2 seconds down on the 8th placed Nixotica with 13 points. So it could still be saved. There are still some spoils to be saved for Gwen, and potentially a chance for him to retain all of his points. Meanwhile, it seems though Mizipawa has been forced to respawn, and that's going to give some room to breathe for Sika and Nixotica as well. That's going to promote a lot of people in there, and that's going to promote Gwen potentially. Yeah, Gwen would get promoted to P11, but that will not change the gaps. Currently 6.2 seconds down for Gwen, 5.5 seconds down. Oh, actually, it seems as though people are making mistakes left, right, and center. Could this be the cue that Gwen just needed to get back up? And it seems as though Gwen will get up to 10th place, and Mika will be up to 9th, and that's going to be a battle between the two. Gwen will get up to 9th place. It seems as though we got 3 laps to make 3.5 seconds. Can it happen? Well, only a few mistakes can need to be occurred. Either Tricky makes a mistake, Nixotica makes a mistake, or Marius makes a mistake. Anything can happen. Meanwhile, Afi in the lead, 0.3 of a second between him and Dark, and then we got a wide gap, almost 3 seconds, 3.3 seconds, down to Volnera in 3rd place. Fastest up of the race so far for Gwen with 113.72. Oh, Gwen is on fire. He's gonna be looking to catch people up as much as he can, and actually try to demote Marius down to 9th and safeguard his 54 points for himself. Meanwhile, Afi going through the identity. Will he make it? Yes, he will make it. Darkin will make it. Will Volnera make it? Yes, he will make it. Mixmod will be forced to respawn potentially. Yes, he will be forced to respawn. Yes, he will. And that's going to drop him down. And that's going to be the cue that Gwen just needed. He won't get the identity. No, he will fail it as well. What's happening? I can't believe he will manage to actually get back on his wheels, but he will drop down to 12th place as it was looking so good for Gwen. He will get a huge nose bug, man. Thank you for the word, Necroa. Nutzbug for Gwen on the identity at the landing, and that's gonna be potentially game over as he gets dropped down to 10 seconds down on the leaders. Nothing can be done at this point unless a huge choke happens on the part of the 7th and 8th placed Marius 89 and Mika. Meanwhile, Afi continuing to control the race convincingly. Then we got Dark in 2nd place with 34 points and half a second of a gap between him and Afi. Then 4 seconds down on the Afi, we find his teammate Volnera. Currently playing again with again at the GG9 in Brest with Tricky, Gwen, and with Tricky and Gwen as well. And yeah, currently looking pretty good. 114.34 Dark, who's the fastest man on track, the fastest upper race, still credited to Gwen. Currently sitting in 10th place, and yeah, it seems as though he has pretty much given up on life at this point. And yeah, Tricky and actually Tricky and Sika will fail the identity, and that's gonna promote Tricky up to 4th place, Nixotica up to 5th place. Sika will continue to cross the line in 6th position, but still, it was looking really dodgy for Sika as he got a really weird landing. Final lap then for Afi and Dark, who are battling it out so hard. They are remaining in close distance ever since the start of the map, and Dark will overtake Afi for the lead. Dark will get 2/10 out of Afi's lead, and actually a pretty good gap, again, a pretty good gap between the top 2 and the rest of the field. The gaps are pretty much spread out, and we got our first retirement to report, which is going to be Nixotica, and Gwen currently sitting in 4 seconds down on top 8 in 10th place. If any mistake happens, it could potentially be the cue that Gwen just needed to get promoted, but it looks as though it will be unlikely to happen. Yeah, Nixotica, it could potentially be a DC, yeah. 114.385 for Afi, fastest man on track as of lap number 5, and they're going to go through the identity for the final time here in this map, and the final time in this Open Grand League season. Dark being forced to release quite a lot. He will get hit his forehead and will promote Afi into the lead. Afi will win the map. Swiss victory here. Afi in 1st place. Dark will actually be demoted quite heavily here. Volnera has failed the identity as well. It seems as though we're going to see Volnera crossing the line in 2nd place regardless. Dark in 3rd place. He will hit the wall. That's going to safeguard him. 3rd place for Dark. 4th place for Sika. Marius in 5th place. Mika actually forced to respawn. Zer will be up to 7. Gwen will be up to P8. He will save his points regardless. What the hell is happening? 7th place for Gwen even. Zer in 6th place. Leggy in 8th place. Mika has been forced to respawn a lot of times here. He fails the identity twice in a row. And that's going to be so devastating for him. Mixmon will cross the line in 9th place. Then we find Hydra in 10th place, 114.318. The fastest man on track was Afi on lap number 6, Tricky in 11th place. Then we're gonna find Mika 12th place, Easy Power 13th place. Ceramix will cross the identity in 14th position. If he manages to get it, it seems as though he will go for the lower line here. And will cross the line in 14th position. And Moonrev yet to go through the identity. He will potentially hit his forehead. No, he will be good and cross the line in 15th position. And Exotica, having had a DC, is our first retirement to deplore. And Gwen, such a emotional roller coaster, I imagine, for him. And yes, it is absolutely stunning that he was actually able to safeguard those points. Regardless, he will remain in the lead with 61 points. Can you believe that? Everything is close in the top. Everything is close in the bottom part of the top 8. Yes, Mayhem. And yes, Loft, je vais passer en français, il a eu extrêmement chaud. J'en reviens pas qu'il ait réussi à s'en sortir. À quel point il a eu de la chance d'avoir eu énormément de mistakes, notamment de Mika qui était obligé de respawn 2 fois, voire même 3 fois à l'identité pour en fait promouvoir Gwen dans le top 8. C'était incroyablement close. Anyways, back up to English now, and we're going to be moving on to map number 5, which is ChillShake. And as I said, this is the second map, which was actually using the no grip block as part of its identity. 107.065, yes, Scrappy, the fastest up of the race as of step 6 of TMGL. Even will pass Volnera, Egger, and Treki as well. Ooh, really interesting. Thank you for Mr. Mayhem actually making the math, making the quick maths for the ranking live as the step happens. Now, people will actually go for the jump. Some people will go for the jump. Ceramix failing it in the warm-up, but maybe could this be a good thing? Maybe he will actually safeguard all those jumps after that. Or could we potentially see? I think we could. And there's a chance we could potentially see some people pull a tween, as I like to call it. Even though I like tween, they could be in for a chance at actually trying to go for the jump, but actually failing it and being forced to respawn at checkpoint number 1, which would be absolutely devastating. I surely hope that nobody does that, especially Gwen with his 61 points. He's got the most points to lose. Afi as well with 58 points. It seems Lasika has got a bit AFK for now, and I certainly hope that Volnera and Legu do not get stuff like that as well. Volnera is probably the one that needs the most, currently sitting in 7th place in the overall rankings as of step number 5. Hydra not looking too good right now, having lost his points tally, currently sitting in 10th place with 5 points. He could potentially be looking set to be out of this particular step. And as we go through the identity for the warm-up, really well negotiated by Hydra, going through the freewheel at 320 kilometers an hour, pretty much an optimal speed here for this particular identity. Hi Maxi, thank you for dropping by, thank you for joining the cast. I hope you're enjoying it as much as I do. And anyways, 61 points for Gwen in first, 48 for Afi in second, 46 for Dark in third. Map number 5, ChillShake, will be underway as we're going to be focusing on Legu from Team Versatility. So everybody being grouped up, but Volnera has actually missed the freaking... he missed the start booster. What is he doing? And people will go for the jump. Legu going for the jump. Oh, and actually a really unfortunate jump from Marius, who's going to drop out of there. And Dark and Sika also not having a good start to the map. And Afi as well. Afi will be down in 14th place after that jump. He would have failed it. Down to 14th position, 3.3 seconds down on the 8th position. And Legu as well. It seems that we got some big point scores in there. Legu is 14th. Afi 15th. Meanwhile, it seems as though Volnera is in the lead in front of Dark, Gwen, Hydra, Easy Power, Zer, Sika, and Monrev. A fully French top 8. Who'd have thunk it? Anyways, Volnera currently sitting in the lead after that poor start. A really interesting start. I've never seen anyone actually not go for the booster at the start on lap number 1. Going to the left and the right side of this particular half loop. And it seems as though everything is going smoothly for the top 3 right now. Gwen currently sitting in 3rd place, less than 2 tenths down on Hydra, on Volnera, and Dark, as they're going to go through the identity for the first time. Dark having having not an optimal line through here, and gets overtaken by Gwen. And Volnera will be forced to respawn. No, he actually lands it. Holy cow! But he will drop a lot of places as a result, and gets dropped down behind Ceramix, and will drop out into the top 8. And Cyr will actually look to menace him and drop him out of the top 8 as they're going to go for the jump. Ceramix gets it perfectly, Zer perfectly as well. It seems as though Gwen will inherit the lead yet again. 2 tenths in front of Dark. Gwen, who has had such a complicated map number 4, 112.027, the fastest stop of the race for Gwen yet again. And And Volnera battling it out with Zer again for the benefit of 8th position and the safeguarding all those points. Legu could potentially be looking to set to climb back up the rankings and potentially get into that top 8 to save out those 33 points. But he's going to have to actually make the gap, bridge the gap to Zer and actually get rid of Nixonica, who's currently harassing him like crazy. Dark and Gwen in the lead. Gwen getting overtaken by Dark off camera. As they're going to go through an identity for the second time, we're going to be following that from the point of Hydra. And Gwen having a lot less speed, and he's going to drop out of that lead contention, and he will be forced to actually drop a lot of positions. He clinches the outside of the wall. He dropped down to 6th position, and now actually, it seems as though... putain, Sardoche, mais c'est pas possible. It seems as though Nixonica and Zer has made a huge mistake and drops out a lot of positions, so that's going to allow Volnera to get into the top 8 and into the top 5 even, and actually has a lot less speed, gets overtaken by Legu. Legu moves up to 5th place, Volnera down to 6th place. Moonrave will get down to 8th position. Dark with the fastest lap of the race so far with 107.504. And it seems as though we're looking closer and closer to the fastest lap of the race that we've seen so far on this map as of Grand League. Let's actually see 065. Okay, so there's still like half a second of a gap between that and the fastest lap of the race, but Dark is currently looking pretty competitive out here. Hydra in 2nd place, then we find Mika in 3rd place, pretty far down the order, but he has made a huge mistake, and that's gonna drop him down to 3rd place. Oh, actually, Marius 89 in 4th place, then we find... Oh, actually, Gwen! I completely missed that. Gwen has made a huge mistake, and he's going to be looking set to lose those points again. Will the roller coaster happen, and will he actually manage to safeguard his points in the end? Only one way to find out, and that's going to be to stay tuned into that. Afi and Tricky battling it out for 2nd place. 7th place into the identity. Tricky having a lot less speed, a lot less much trickier landing, and he's going to get overtaken by Sika and drop out of the top 8. Sika will get back into the top 8 with his 41 points. He could be set to get some big points in this final step here, which is really good. Volnera going for the jump, clearing it perfectly. Currently, Volnera is sitting in 7th place. Half a second between him and Sika. Sika currently remaining in the hot seat, 8/10 of a second up on Moonrev. And we find Tricky and Ceramix battling it out for P10. Ceramix having a lot less optimal of a line here. 107.700, fastest amount on track so far. Remains Dark, currently sitting comfortably in the lead. 2.5 seconds up on Hydra. The XLT driver doing his best to actually be as fast as he can, but he seems as though he will not be able to catch Dark so far. And Legu in 3rd place, 8 seconds down. The gaps have opened up quite a bit. Make big crushes from Miquatro and Razi. Okay, 14th to 15th right now, so yeah, it seems as though this could be all... It's still game on pretty much for the places. It's Dark with a really dodgy landing. That could be the cue that Hydra just needed. Dark will actually cross the line, but he will be forced to go for the respawn and go for the booster, and that's gonna promote Hydra into the lead after this checkpoint. Hydra leading the map in lap number 5 out of 6, the penultimate lap so far. And Afi back up to 3rd place, so Afi could be set to actually remain in the control of his 48 points. They get back up to 5th place with 33. 31 points for Hydra, who's on the hot seat, and he could potentially see Ceramix grow more and more in his mirrors and get over, and he potentially be set to get overtaken by Ceramix. It seems as though it's looking set to happen. Yes, it is happening, and Volnera will drop out of the top 8 and drop down to P9. 31 points at risk here for the French XLT driver. Meanwhile, Dark remaining in the lead, a second ahead of Hydra. It seems as though Dark has managed to overtake Hydra on a mistake and has managed to get back up into the lead position. The player from Team Wanted is currently remaining in control. And it seems as though Sika has made a mistake and drops from 4th place to 6th place to the profit of Mika and Legu. And Moonrev currently sitting in 7th place with 2 points, then 11 points, 4 seconds down on the leader. And Ceramix currently making an incursion into the top 8, but Volnera is right on his heels. Volnera potentially looking to catch and overtake Ceramix, and Ceramix having a less tidier of a line, and that's going to allow Volnera to get back into the top 8 on this final lap. And Hydra has made Dark has made a huge mistake. He's been forced to respawn, and that could potentially be a big points loss for him, but actually he remains in 6th place, so that could be still all to play for him. And Gwen is looking to actually catch up thick and fast. He needs people to actually make huge mistakes. This is the time where he needs his luck to be with him. Meanwhile, Hydra will be in a comfortable lead of the race with a 6.7 gap, 7-second gap in front of Legu. Then 3rd place for Afi with 8 seconds down on the leader. Sika with the fastest amount on track with a 108.565. Mika in 4th place, Sika 5th place, Dark in 6th place, Volnera 7th, and Ceramix gets back up to the top 8 and battles it out with the safe Meister himself. Marius 89 and Gwen is also in the mix, so Gwen could potentially still be set to score his 61 points and keep them We're going to be following with a Game 1 driver right now, and it seems as though he's got much more momentum than Marius to close the gap right here before the half loops. And it seems as though Volnera, Hydra's dropped a lot of momentum. He's going to be forced to respawn, and that's going to allow Legu to get back up there. Yes, Legu will actually win the map. Hydra will be forced to respawn, and Afi will get into 2nd place, Mike in 3rd place, Sika in 4th place, Dark in 5th place. Then we're going to see Volnera in 6th place. Hydra will not be able to make it. Forced to respawn, then Gwen will cross in 7th place again. The roller coaster for Gwen. Marius CD9 in 8th place. Ceramix in 9th. Hydra in 10th. Zero 11th. Exotica 12th. Monrev 13th. Tricky 14th. Fastest up of the race for Gwen with a 1:07.351. Mixmod in 14th place. Tricky in 15th position. He will cross the line slowly but surely. And Easy Power in 16th position. Gwen! Oh my days. And such a huge choke from Hydra was everything that kicked off. And yeah, Hydra must be absolutely kicking over itself right now. And Gwen must be thinking, merci mon Dieu, merci mon Dieu, merci mon Dieu d'être avec moi. Je vous en supplie, faites en sorte que je puisse garder mes points. This is in French. Please, thank God, thank God, thank God for being with me. And please make it so that I keep my points. Anyways, Gwen in the lead with 68 points, Afi 2nd with 62, 3rd place for Doc with 55, Legu 4th with 53, then we find Sika 5th with 51, 6th place for Volnera with 39, Mario 7th with 25, and Mika in 8th place with 16 points. God or Helis? Isn't Helis a Trackmania god? Question mark? Waze with 73 points right now. Okay. Thank you, Mayhem, for the update over on server 2, and we're going to be heading already onto the final map of the race, which is SkyEuro, with an identity consisting of a slalom between holes, preceded by a booster and a freewheel, an engine killer. So timing of inputs, speed, and speed release will be key here. The fastest lap of the race is attributed to Tween again with a 120.328, as he scored his ticket for the Lyon Esports in playoffs and finished in P10 as of this particular map. So there are some people who are going to go for this particular jump right here, but this is actually a really risky jump. As you can see, Afi, or even the best people like Afi and Gwen, could potentially fail this one, and yes, people will potentially try to go for the safe way. StarCase with an air brake in between each of them, but actually Gwen getting the nose bug on that particular StarCase set and being forced to respawn. Then we got the underground part with the dirt right now that you can actually use to your advantage to set up the car into a tighter line and then go for the actual jump on the left to overtake the curb here, and then onto his tiny dirt S section. Right, left, right here, and then onto the part preceding the identity, consisting of this particular jump and a long triple apex right-hand turn. See, actually a fail here for Dark 1, 2, and 3 apex, and then snap the car directly to the left, and then go to the identity, 400 kilometers an hour, and then brake as little as you can, and then time your inputs correctly. Then you see what I mean by correct timing of inputs. If you mess up your inputs and glitch the inside of the hole, you could be either dropping a lot of speed, or flat out having to respawn. Anyways, we're gonna be following the current step leader right now, Gwen from Team Game Award, as he's gonna be set to start the final map of step number 6. I was gonna say step number 8, but no, I meant top 8. Top 8 will score points. Top 9 to 16 will actually lose their points. Dark and Afi in the lead. Then we find Exotica and Gwen in 3rd and 4th place respectively. Then Marius, Hydra, Zer, and Legu completing the top 8 after the first 3 checkpoints. It seems as though Sika not having a really good start, remaining in that really good group. Still 51 points at risk for the VOD driver, even though he's not currently part of the top 8, of the overall top 8 of the league ranking. Sorry. It seems that we had a pretty huge mistake by someone. I completely missed that. Let's actually see who gets, if anyone gets a weird bug on there. No, it seems as though everybody gets it perfectly. Not so perfectly with Sika, who actually had a bit of a wobble there on the landing, dropping it down to 13th position. But he remains in that good group, less than a second behind the 8th place player, who's currently Afi battling it out with Dark for P7, as they're going to go for the left-hand jump. Meanwhile, Mixmod, Legu, and Gwen is your top 3, less than a 10th, separating those 3 guys. Then we find Hydra and Tricky also as well. This is a really good battle, half a second between the first 8 places so far, as they're gonna go through the identity for the first time in just a short period of time, just a few seconds here. Here we go, Mixmod heading into the identity for the first time in here, in the lead. dropping a lot of speed right here. People clenching, actually people dropping a lot of speed. Afi clenching the wall. That's going to force him to respawn, and he's going to be dropping out of the top 8 contention, and Gwen will have much more speed than others and will remain in the lead after lap number 1. Legu, Hydra, Dark, Mixmon, Vulnera, Moonrev, and Zero completing your top 8 after lap number 1. Gwen with the fastest lap of the race so far with 124.511. Afi dropping down to last position. He's trying to fight back with Mika right now sitting in 15th position. 7.2 seconds down on the 8th place player, who's currently Zer, battling it out with Easy Power, who overtakes them, but Moonrev is potentially the one to save Zer here. Zer will go for the jump and will actually clip the outside, and that's going to drop him out of the top 8 for good right now, as Easy Power will seek to overtake Moonrev and potentially make so in the set of staircases. Yes, he will be promoted up to P7. And then we are going to have Gwen in the lead again, 0.2 of a second in front of Dark. Then 0.2 further down, we found Legu. Legu currently sitting pretty well in here. Then we got 4th place for Hydra, Mixed Mod, Vulnera, Easy Power, and Moonrev completing the top 8. But Sika could potentially be the one to overtake Moonrev and get back up into those safeguarding positions of top 8. Yeah, he was really extremely lucky on those 2 saves. It was absolutely nerve-wracking to watch as we're gonna go through the identity for the second time for the leaders. Let's actually check in with Legu as we see Gwen and Dark again battling it out with each other. Really great battle. They're a really great battle of this step. It seems as though Dark has got more momentum, and Legu has not as much momentum as he wanted. He's less than 100 kilometers an hour at the top of the hill, but yeah, he will be able to cross in 6th place as we cut out Saldosh screaming right now. Gwen in 1st place, then Dark in 2nd place, Hydra in 3rd place. A really good battle here. 0.3 of a second between the top 3 drivers. Afi with the fastest up of the race so far with a 122.180. Mixmon in 4th place, Vulnera in 5th place. 6th place for Tricky. Then we find Marius and Zer battling it out for the top 8. Tricky, Marius battling it out actually, but Marius has lost out in favor of Tricky. Will Tricky go for the jump? No, they're all going to go for the safe way. It seems as though Zero will also go for the safe way after having learned the lesson on the previous lap, and actually battling it out with Easy Power, who overtakes him back to top 8. So yeah, everything is still all to play for. Afi is still has 4 laps to make everything happen. 3.86 seconds down on the 8th place player, currently Easy Power, and the 8th place battle between Easy Power and Zer. So everything can still happen for the Swiss driver from Team Exalti, and he could still be in it to retain those 62 points. Meanwhile, Dark in the lead, 0.1 of a second in front of Gwen. Then 0.3 further down we find Hydra. It seems as though the battle will continue to rage on between Gwen and Dark. Vulnera overtaking Mixmod, and actually we got Tricky, who fell down the order, now even behind Easy Power. Now Tricky down to 8th place as we see Dark and Gwen going through the identity for the 3rd time here. Dark dropping more momentum than Gwen. Gwen with a riskier line. It seems as though the positions have evened out right now, and Dark will remain in the lead. Less than 1/10 of a second between him and Gwen. Gwen in 2nd place, Hydra 3rd place, Mixmon in 4th place, Vulnera dropping down a lot of momentum, being overtaken by Mixmon. Vulnera in 5th place, Tricky 6th place, Marius in 7th place, and Easy Power in 8th place. Afi, meanwhile, back up to 1.7 seconds down on the 8th place, currently Easy Power, and it seems as though it's pretty much game on for Afi at this point. 3 laps to go for him. 62 points are still at stake for him, and he is the fastest man on track so far with 121.169. The Swiss driver for Team Exalti taking every risk he can, even going for the jump here before this particular checkpoint. Let's see how he does in the staircase section. And look at this, Legu and Zera right in front of him, and just further he can see Tricky and Easy Power. Easy Power, and Marius, so he is in the right group right now. Meanwhile, Dark and Gwen are still battling it out tooth and nail for that lead position and those 20 points. Hydra currently having dropped quite a bit of pace, and it seems that the two top drivers are pulling away quite a bit with a 2.6 second gap between 1st place and 3rd. Hydra trying his best to actually remain in contention, as we are going to go for the 4th time through the identity. Dark dropping more momentum than Gwen. Gwen having a really tight line, a really perfect line through here, crossing with 150 kilometers an hour to the finish line and crossing in the lead of the race, overtaking Dark, who's now been demoted to 2nd, 0.8 down on Gwen, even a 2nd down on Gwen. And it seems as though Afi has benefited from a mistake of Marius, and he's now back up to 8th place and even 7th place as he gets has overtaken Easy Power. But he gets some really risky lines. He may not be able to actually make that two laps in a row, so he must be actually having to save all those points. He must be thinking, okay, now I'm back up to 8th place. Now I can actually reduce my pace, and I can actually control the race a bit more clearly now. Gwen remaining in the lead despite that wall touch on CP8. Dark in 2nd place, 1.6 seconds down on the leader. 121.558, again the fastest lap of the race so far for Afi. The Swiss driver from Team Exalted currently on fire, looking to hunt down Tricky to potentially gain a few points in the process. Then we come Mixmod in 5th. Then we find two of Afi's teammates, Hydra in 3rd, Valnera in 4th. Valnera having made the junction to his teammate, half a second down on Hydra so far. Meanwhile, Gwen and Dark remaining in the lead, and Dark has managed to get a lot more momentum compared to Gwen over the course of this lap. He's now only 4/10 down on the leader, and they're going to go through the identities for the penultimate time right now as they are going to go through here. Let's see who drops more momentum. It seems as though Gwen has been forced to drop more momentum, but actually Dark drops more momentum, and it seems as though Gwen will be able to pull off a little bit, and he crosses the final time for the final time. The start finish line to cross the final lap. 1 second of a gap between him and Dark in 2nd place. Valnera will be up to 3rd place. Hydra's made a mistake and drops down from 2nd to 6th. From 3rd to 6th, and Hydra, Valnera 3rd place, Hafi 4th place, Mixmod 5th place, and it seems as though Sika will not be able to actually score many points here and not be able to safeguard his points. He is currently sitting in 12th place, 6 seconds down on the 8th place driver. Meanwhile, Gwen will go for the jump. Will he be able to clear it? He will be able to clear it. And Valnera will go for the jump. He will be able to clear it just. Same goes for Afi, but Afi will be able to climb a bit more than Valnera. Mixmod in 5th place, Legu 6th, Easy Power and Tricky battling it out for the benefit of the 7th position. Meanwhile, Easy Power remains in the control over Tricky. He will keep that 2nd position. Yeah, Hydra dropped like flies. He's currently down to the top 8, and he's battling out with Tricky, but Tricky has dropped a lot of momentum as well. 121.709, Afi remaining the fastest man on track. He is on fire! Mi4 respawn. It seems as though pretty much it's game over for Mi4 as I hear in my ear. Rossi 2nd with 1 point. Oh, that could actually be really heartbreak for Mi4 as he was the one who could potentially deserve, one of those that could potentially deserve to get into the combined match for the final identity here. Let's actually see Gwen going really good, and that's going to be it. 88 points for Gwen, who will cross the line in 1st place, Dark in 2nd place, Afi. Oh, actually, Afi 3rd, Dark will BM and cross the line in 3rd place instead. 4th place for Hydra, 4th place for Valnera, Mixmod in 5th place, Hydra 6th place, Tricky 7th, and Legu in 8th place, Smartest 89 in 9th place, Zero in 10th place, Easy Power 11th, Sika will drop down to 12th place. Fastest man on track was always Afi with 121.96 as of lap number 6. Mika in 13th place, Syrinx will cross in 14th position. Nixotica will actually go through the identity in 15th position. And Moonrev will actually, a BM from Nixotica will not take the start finish. Such a BM from the American driver. He does not consider his step worth it and will not score any points as a result of that. He pretty much pulls a Coco, but except that he doesn't start before the finish line. And actually, he even disconnects. So yeah, that's pretty much game over for Nixotica. And Moonrev will cross in 16th position, and no, in 15th position actually, as Nixotica did not score any points and did not cross the line. So then, your final ranking will be Gwen winning this match with 88 points. Then we're gonna find some pretty interesting people in 2nd place. 2nd place for Afi with 76, Dark 3rd place with 67, 4th place for Legu with 59, 49 points for Valnera in 5th place, Hydra 6th place with 13 points, Mixmod 7th with 12 points, and completing the top 8 is Tricky with 9. So then, that completes this step and Open Grand League. We're just gonna have to wait for the other matches to be completed and all the rankings to actually be synthesized. So, anyways, oh, the chat has actually appeared right in the middle of that. I'm really sorry about that. That's not really professional. I'm gonna have to disable that just for now. I'm really sorry about that. I've been forced to redo my scenes after a technical issue on my PC yesterday, so yeah, I was pretty much forced to redo everything. So, step 6 is done. Raze is 8th, he got 1st. Okay, we're gonna have to wait for the remainder of the ranking. I actually want to wait for all the matches to be done and the actual ranking to pop up in the title pack. Merci beaucoup Léoft pour le support du cas, c'était un vrai plaisir. Thank you Divingo for the kind words as well. Yeah, I'm just gonna rehydrate myself on screen because why the hell not? So, now I want your feedback. I've been casting the OGL pretty much all steps. I did 2 steps in French, I did the rest in English. I also casted the there's my billboard. Yeah, there's your billboard, my man. And yeah, also casted Step 5 and Step 6 of TMGL for Pittsburgh Knights. And for those of you who actually followed some of those casts, what is your overall sentiment of it? How did I do? Is there anything that I could potentially improve on that in terms of production quality, in terms of spectating, in terms of vocabulary, in terms of overall play-by-play, overall knowledge of the stadium scene? Is there anything that you can actually suggest? Thank you, Scotty, for the follow. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Okay, I'm gonna stop the accents right now. That must be absolutely devastating. Thank you, Lex, for the words. Thank you, Lex, for the kind words as well. I've been really enjoying the cast. You like my cast them? Oh, that's actually really... I've had some pretty good feedback. Over on Twitter. Actually, there was a question by Eirik Holdal, who was actually looking in terms of... there was a question of the week by Eirik who told, okay, we're now heading off into the playoff phase, and we saw various different casters in the English scene during the various steps. Yeah, I know a little bit, but I'm kind of used to actually talk fast. That's a bit of a habit of natural reaction to try to keep on top of everything, so I'll try to tone it down later. But yeah, Eirik said we're now heading into the playoff phase, and we saw different casters in the various regular season steps of TMGL. The question was, if you actually had to pick 2 people to cast, to take an official English cast of the playoffs in Lyon, who would it be? There were 8 names in the list. So you were cited, Scotty. There was Virtual in there. There was Sinasapur. There was Marius. There was me. There was Radiance. There was Cousin. And what was the last one? Can't really remember. Anyways, there were actually 8 people listed, and there was actually a pretty overwhelmingly positive response, and I got cited in a lot of suggestions in terms of duo cast opportunities. So yeah, that was actually really cool to see. Yeah, Turbo. That was the last one that was the last one I was looking for. Anyways, it will. If I'm actually having the opportunity to cast the playoffs, that would be so cool. I don't know. I'm too afraid to ask Softy, basically. I don't know how everything's gonna happen even for the combined match. We hope that we get some info pretty soon regarding that, if we can actually post our candidate. Yeah, duo casting would actually be cool, yeah. It would be super cool. I mean, I've been doing it with Eric for Step 3 of OGL, and we had a blast. It was pretty much the one that pretty much set me off into the stadium casting scene. But yeah, if we get the opportunity to cast the combine or the playoffs, that would be super cool. I don't know if how everything will happen. Well, I will have to ask Softy, or someone else will have to ask Softy, because I'm pretty shy about this kind of stuff. And yeah, otherwise it's been a pretty good. I really enjoyed following OGL, both OGL and TMGL. Scotty and GGeek. Yeah, I mean, that would be the dream. The ultimate duo cast. Except you will be given a clean feed instead of a direct joints and slant. Yeah, clean feed. That's actually how it would work. Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, yeah, there's also something pretty exciting coming in February. Now, I'm gonna say it's pretty much only gonna be French. Now, for those of you who are not French speaking, don't worry. There's gonna be an announcement tied up with that. I can't really say anything. I can't really say anything right now. I know I'm sounding really cryptic, but I can't say anything of what I'm actually being involved with or being working on. Anyways, stay tuned, especially on Twitter. There could be something that could actually be pretty pog. Let's actually see. Refresh. Yeah, there's nothing so far. You're actually, this is actually my best stream so far in terms of. I know I'm gonna dig into some dodgy numbers here, but in terms of viewership, that's actually the best stream I've done so far. And yeah, you're over 11, 12, 13 people actually joining to see the cast. That's really cool. Anyways, the step is over, and we got the final ranking in, and the results may surprise you. Anyways, we're gonna check back into the game now. In 3, 2, 1, here's your final ranking for the Open Grand League Winter 2020. Afi will get the overall ranking win with 59,460 points. Janex is second place with 58,935 points. Swiss 1-2. Gwen in third place with 50,930 points. They give fourth place with 57,600 points. And Egir in fifth place with 56,265 points. Tricky in sixth place with 55,000 870 points. And then Volnera and Hydra barely just make it with 55,595 points for Volnera and 55,335 points for Hydra. Let's actually see over the top 9. 5 points between Raze and Hydra. Are you kidding me? Only the tiniest of margins actually separated the top 8 from the rest. And Raze will unfortunately have to give it another go in the next season. This is really unfortunate for him. It seems as though Razi had a pretty poor step, Miquatro as well. Razi in 10th place with 54,805 points, and Miquatro 11th place with 54,405 points. And yeah, I know, Razi, 5 points. Sorry. 5 points. 6 weeks of racing, 216 laps completed, 21 maps raced. 5 points over the course of 55,300. I don't believe it myself. This is how close the margins are, even in the OpenGL. Those tickets are really costly. Damn. Hydra gaining 3 places? Well, yeah, he managed to actually step up pretty big in the last 2 maps, so yeah. Props for him. He saved his ass. Yeah, he saved his ass so much. As did Gwen overall in the step. Not overall, but in the step itself, he saved his ass a lot. But yeah, I think that's pretty much gonna be it. Thank you very much for joining, I guess. Now I want actually to end on a pretty traditional song over here. For those of you who came on my stream regularly, you know what I mean. You know which song it is. You'll recognize that one. Anyways, thank you very much for watching Step 6 of the Open Grand League. I don't know how it's gonna happen for the combined match. We're gonna get some potentially some info further in the week. But anyways, thank you very much to all the new followers, to all of the spectators. Thank you very much for watching. You guys are incredible. Thank you very much for an incredible 6 weeks with both OGL and the TMGL cast. That was really fun to do. I want to thank again the Pittsburgh Knights for also allowing me the opportunity to cast that. Merci beaucoup à tous les Français qui sont venus un petit peu dans le stream, même si c'est pas vraiment la langue que vous appréciez, mais en tout cas, j'adore en tout cas faire ce cast. J'espère en faire beaucoup d'autres à l'avenir. Et merci à vous d'avoir regardé. Rien de tout ça ne pourrait arriver sans vous. Anyways, that's gonna be it for me, guys. I'm gonna take it offline, and yeah, thank you very much for watching. And for those of you who are looking forward, I will see you all next time. Godspeed, people!